this one.
You got the music and everything for that, right?
Yo, welcome back, baby. It's a beautiful Monday, February the 7th, and we are live and direct from the King's Broadcasting Studios. It's Petty Sports with your guy DB, Famous Fees, Mike Bizel, and the Petty Man himself is kicking in with us tonight, man. We got a live show for you guys, man. Fellas, how your week been?
Oh, awesome week, man. Everything been all love, man. Hit the Atlanta United match. Y'all already know how your boy Fees get it in. When they play, I'm there. Straight Vamos, Atlanta. Drove all the way to Birmingham for that thing.
Now, was that a real game or that's just a scrimmage, like an exhibition game,
No,
right?
it was a friendly exhibition.
So last year they did that game in Tennessee or Charlotte. Where was it? I can't remember, but I kind of remember them doing it away from here, like Nashville or somewhere like that.
I'm not sure where it was at last year because I didn't go.
Okay. Well, how was it?
Oh, man, it was all right, man. Like,
Yeah.
Birmingham is they're USL, so they're not an MLS team.
Okay.
So it wasn't like they weren't supposed to beat us. Like we had Atlanta United 2 out there in the second half.
How close was it?
It was 3-2.
Okay.
I mean, they played well.
Okay.
Like we had all our new people out there. They shifting the lineups. It was just good to get back into it, man. Like me and the rest of the folks to be out there at all the games was like, by halftime, it was like, I need another shot or something. Like, man, my voice ain't ready. It's been about 3 months. It's like, you doing this again?
It's a warm up for you.
Yeah, my voice was gone. It's like, all right, I need a little something to coat this.
Now, for those of us that don't know much about Atlanta United and how they travel pretty deep.
Oh, they travel very deep. That's
Yeah.
why, like, most of those teams, they love to have us come. Like they said, that's probably the only time that stadium will sell out the entire year for them.
That's a good deal.
Like Nashville just got their team this year, so their inaugural game is February 29th against us.
Okay.
So we'll all be out there. We'll be there deep.
Good way to bring in the stadium, christen the stadium.
Oh, yeah, you christen the stadium with the hypest fan base in the entire league to show everybody there how it's supposed to look.
Okay.
I mean, it attracts fans in their city.
So now are they doing the same thing, not standing for 90 minutes even when they go on the road?
Oh, yeah, we don't sit down.
Okay.
Don't matter where we at.
Hey, tell us, hey, so you go to a United game, it's standing, we jamming the whole time. I'm gonna make sure I get the one this year, man. I got to.
We standing, we chanting, we singing, we jumping. Some of the Birmingham fans was a little salty though,
because they want y'all to sit down.
Now, like at the end of the match, like they felt like they were supposed to have won or something. It's like, bro, we ain't even talking shit. Like we expected to win. It's like, hey, like good game.
Yeah.
They walking through. They made it. They held us off for like 30 minutes. They let all the Birmingham fans leave the stadium and just made us just sit up there. So we kept chanting for 30 minutes.
So is that just to kind of make the crowd, keep the crowd separate?
Yeah, they
So
didn't want anything to pop off.
in European soccer, it's kind of like that. But I
Yeah.
wouldn't imagine it's like that with a basically an undercard match.
We wasn't on that, but they was a little hostile.
Really?
Yeah, like somebody, like they walked by, threw a beer can up in the stand. Like, damn.
So they're trying to make it like, even though it's not a rivalry because you guys are not in the same league, but like the United and Orlando. I know that's a huge rivalry, and it's kind of like the Falcons and the Aints, in that sense. So Birmingham feel a little slighted.
They did for some reason.
Wow. Okay.
That shit hit the bill of my hat, bounced off. I was like, man, what was that? Another chick over there, like, they hit me in the face. Like, hey, chill out. Like, that hit me first. It couldn't possibly hit you that hard.
You got the deflection. You got the deflection.
You got the spill off. It ain't that deep.
I guess they're trying to bring in that feel of European soccer to the States, man, where, I ride with my team, and damn it, you don't like it, let's throw these hands.
I guess so, man.
I ain't mad at it, personally.
It was a warm-up for us.
I'm not mad at it at all. Mike Bizel, how you been, brother?
Oh, man, life is great, baby.
Yeah?
Good and great all at the same damn time. You know what I'm saying? Hey, excuse the noise, ladies and gentlemen. That's Studio Life. We live and direct right now on Twitter, Facebook, and Periscope now. Not now, but right now, okay?
Right now.
Share the page with all your friends and everybody, your neighbors. Let them know we got another set that's on tonight with Petty Sports. You know what I'm saying? Fees, Dwight Banks, got Petty Man on deck. We got the usual cast, and we got a special guest coming up real soon. So, we going in on the latest sports and what's good right here in the A and some other things as well. So, pull out your sticks, get you some good libations, and join the crew. We're going to pump up that Petty Sports line as well, 678-871-9602. We appreciate you guys for joining us tonight, showing the love. You know what I'm talking about? ATL, ho.
Yes, sir. And we got our guy often seen the effects, but rarely ever heard these days. It's the new year. I got our guy Petty Man over there on the board. He's gonna join us in tonight. G, how you been, brother?
Doing good, man. Glad to be here with you guys, man. You guys are really turning this up on this Petty Sports, man. So I'm very happy to be here, engineering the boards, running the grass for you guys, man. It makes me proud to be a part of this team. So thank Fees for coming and joining us each and every Monday here. He's all over the world. He's a traveling man.
It's everywhere.
Well, thank everybody out
Tune
there
in.
in Petty Sports Nation, man. Thank you for joining me. Make sure y'all share the page. Follow Kings Broadcasting. Get us out there. Make sure you follow and spread the news about the Kings Broadcasting Studio.
Yeah, Kings Broadcast and Petty Sports. Join the pages, share the pages, all that good stuff right there. You know what I'm saying? And enjoy the show tonight. You know, sit down and get you something special. You know, and if you're a real big sports fanatic, you'll really enjoy what's going on, man. I'm so glad, like Petty Man say, boy, you made it out here, man. That weather is knocking everybody down tonight. And it was a shooting on 20 up by MLK today, man. It's got the whole system jacked around. Golly. Welcome, sir.
Oh, it was
Welcome,
real,
sir.
man. But you know, it's a movement.
Hey, man.
Fees is everywhere. Stay petty all day.
Ooh,
They wasn't gonna
stay
keep me.
petty.
They wasn't gonna keep me away from the mic, baby. That ain't how it go.
Yeah, it is. I like that in you. So listen, man, we gonna as we wait on Ledbetter, we're gonna talk a little something about what we got on deck today. Matter of fact, let us know, Fees.
Oh yeah, man, we're gonna bring this thing in real nice, like with some controversy, because you know we gotta keep it petty. John Jones, Mr. Bones Jones, won a controversial unanimous decision over Dominique Reyes. And when we say controversial, I mean it was a damn robbery. If anyone actually watched that whole fight,
With or without the pistol?
oh man, that shit, the pistol, it was a pistol. Yes, they definitely. Especially after you saw how the judges scored it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the judges, it was a unanimous decision. 48-47, 48-47. So both of those guys had it 3 rounds to 2. But the third judge had it 49-46. I mean, he gave John Jones 4 out of those 5 rounds.
Okay.
There's nobody who believes that John won the first 2 rounds. The third round was kind of maybe a toss-up, but I mean, I think John was getting points for takedowns that didn't really happen.
Well, they said they credited him for 2 takedowns.
Yeah, they credited him for 2 takedowns, but he didn't actually really get any of them.
Uh-huh.
Like every time he went in for a takedown, he pushed him up against the chain, like up against the wall. He grab his arms, pull him up, and get out of it. He was too strong. Like
Gotcha.
John couldn't even overpower him. None of his takedowns were effective in any way. They never really hit the ground.
But Bones been doing it for damn near 10 years, man. So, I mean, it's highly unlikely that anybody continue to be at such a high level for so long.
Oh, I was rooting for him. I mean,
Okay.
I was kind of shook in the first round when he caught him and put him on his ass. I was like, oh, like, what was that? Like, he just put him down. I'm like, hold up. Like, man, don't get knocked out.
Yo.
And that's what it looked like now.
He was highly
Yes, I mean-
favored by. I don't think anybody picked Reyes for this fight. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
Mama them did.
Well, I'm just saying,
His
like,
mama did.
by the numbers, clearly Jones was the favorite. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And like you said, nobody expected Reyes to really have his number like he did.
Well, but Dana White was not surprised. He said he knew what it was.
It's always one.
But I mean, it was just like some of the smaller technical things that you watch. Because normally John comes out, he had a 7.5-inch reach advantage over Reyes.
Yep.
Right.
So what I saw coming into this, he was just going to just keep him at bay with all those chin checks with his foot, like he always does. Like he checks you and kicks your leg, and then he comes in with the inside kick and hyperextends your knee and keeps you, like he uses his leg like a jab. But every time he lifted his leg, Reyes kicked. So he was getting blocked. He was getting met. Sometimes Reyes was beating him to the strike.
Right.
He completely destroyed his little pawing method, which usually gives him control over the pace of the fight. And that kind of frustrated him because, I mean, Reyes can box. His striking game was on point.
Was really on point. His counter game, his counter
Yeah.
punches, the whole 9. I think that did catch Jones off guard a little bit, man. And it shocked him. It shocked the world, too.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't ready, but he was aggressive, and he stayed aggressive. I know he, in the post game, was like, yeah, he couldn't keep that up the whole fight. It's like, yeah, but he was more aggressive than you pretty much the entire time up until the 5th round when you knew you had to win. Like, he was trying to catch a knockout or something. He was in desperation mode in round 5.
Man, for me, like I said, I didn't really see the whole fight. I saw some of the highlights here and there and whatever. What I don't want to happen to MMA or the UFC or whatever is what happened to boxing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it got real shady. It was all about the money. You know, clearly sometimes you would see victories go one way, but the judges call it another way.
Okay.
And I think perhaps this is maybe that showing his or rearing his ugly head in MMA fighting or UFC boxing or whatever you want to call it, because mostly everybody I talked to said Reyes should have won the fight. It was one quote-unquote shady judge.
Yeah, that judge that gave him 4 rounds to 1 was ridiculous.
I mean, that was the difference in the fight, and clearly that was a problem. Not a whole lot of people agreed with that. So I'm thinking like maybe the money is starting to enter this fight game. It's going to make it turn into boxing. I hope not.
It wasn't a highway robbery, but Reyes won.
And the money's been there. So let's be clear on that. The money's been there as far as MMA is concerned. Like, you know, they not hurting for money at this point. But now you do have to look at it in the fact to say, hey, well, maybe they're trying to gear up for that big ticket guy again. But you look at Conor McGregor made a hell of a re-entrance back into the MMA fight game for what he did at his last fight. Now this just sets up another Reyes Jones 2.
Exactly, a rematch.
They just kind of teed Cowboy up for McGregor to knock out, because that was just pure ignorance in the first place. You're going to come out and go completely outside of your fight plan, and he already was kind of washed.
Listen.
You know, like he was out there like, all right, knock me out and give me some money, and then he didn't even really get that much money. I think he got like $200,000.
Yeah, he got knocked. Well, you look at 45 seconds, 200,000, damn good payday.
Yeah, but against Conor McGregor, he should have made more money.
Yeah. But you only had 45 seconds, so fuck it. He got paid.
You take what you can
He
get.
came out like a dumbass.
Yeah, you just take what you can get, right?
I don't think John Jones is going to fight Reyes again either. He's talking about moving up to heavyweight now.
But I don't think the market will let him. Everybody's going to want to see the rematch before he moves up.
And then you think about it.
You got to conquer that before you move up, right?
You figure at 205 is where he's been at for the last 10 years or so. Normally, it's hard as hell to keep your weight down in a particular weight class. And no matter what it is, boxing, MMA, or what have you, for that long. So they typically, as you get older, you naturally move up, because your body's like, man, I don't want to work as hard to keep this goddamn water weight down. And so he may do that. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that was the case.
Well, I mean, one thing that he did looked like he was aging. Like, his body didn't look as in shape as what it normally does.
Correct.
And nobody really came, and I really don't even want to shed a light on it, but it's just like you can't just ignore it. Because, you know, he did. The one loss on his record was a fight that was reversed.
I was about to say, it wasn't really. Is that still considered a loss? Okay.
I mean, it counts technically as an L, but he won the fight, and they reversed the decision because of him testing positive.
Correct.
It was like, is this a result of now he's completely clean and he's not quite the same beast anymore? Is it just the aging, or is it a combination of the two? So, I mean, he has been in the game for a long time. And the way that he does have a mean chin, because he took some strikes from Reyes that every other opponent Reyes has fought has been dropped behind these.
Okay.
So he definitely has a golden chin. He don't just go out. But if he moves up to heavyweight, fighting the way that he's fighting right now, like his block game is weird. You never really see anybody attack him like that, but he kind of turns and runs and then gets his hands up, and the defense is kind of soft because Reyes was throwing punches through his defense. If he gets out there against a true heavyweight that outweighs him like that because he has to go up in weight, like he might be in danger of getting stopped early.
But now you look at the fact that Reyes was able to basically defend that leg jab, if you want to call it that, right? You know, and part of how, you know, Jones's his strategy is, and you look at it, man, a lot of times when you're watching his fights, man, you literally like, you know, ooh, like, you know, you see him hit that knee and that knee goes back and hyperextend that knee, you literally, ooh, like you cringe. Like, how in the hell is a motherfucker taking that?
Yeah,
you know,
how can he even stand up?
Reyes was really, you know, able to kind of shift his body weight a little bit, and as you mentioned earlier, you know, kind of, you know, counter with a kick of his own.
Baby.
So we got our guy, Orlando Ledbetter, checking in. We're going to let him get settled in. We're going to get off into this Falcon football talks and all that good people. Welcome to the show, good sir.
Doing great.
Yes, sir.
You got
Good, dog.
A Diamondback hat on. Are you from Arizona?
No, I just got it when I was out there with the Falcons.
Okay, all right, I see
It was
ya.
on sale.
Hey, make it all the way easy. It makes it a lot easier to do it that way, baby. So welcome to the show, man. We just getting started. We was just kind of recapping the MMA fight over the weekend with Bones Jones and Dominic Reyes. So
Yeah.
But like Fees was saying, I don't know if the heavyweights will be able to defend that, man, and, be able to get out of that and even have that kind of mobility like Reyes has to get away from that. And when he can effectively do that, he's shown, man, he's damn near unbeatable.
Yeah, but I mean, he catches a 225 heavyweight that's not considerably bigger. That person still might be able to move. I mean, that could be a problem. If they just eat one of his punches to get through that defense, you're not going to overpower him because normally he gets people on the ground. His ground game is second to none.
Yeah,
he gets people
He
down
was
and
trying
just
to get
destroys them
Reyes
with the
down.
elbows.
But he like you said, his
Couldn't
strength was-
overpower him.
Yeah, yeah, he was trying to get him down, and
He
we
tried his
figured.
damnedest.
Yeah.
Everything he came with got blocked. Like, I've never seen anybody handle John Jones like that. And then the post-fight conferences were a telltale sign.
So
You can always tell when they talk to that fighter, and they're like, so what did you think about Reyes' power and just the way that he just came forward and was aggressive? He's like, well, I just want to thank the Lord and Jesus I won another championship and, my team and, one of my new coaches, this is his first championship. It's like, oh, you tap dancing around the fact that man whooped your ass. He finally got into being like, yeah, he was real aggressive, and I just had to kind of just go back to thinking of what one of my other trainers was telling me, like, you want to win ugly and you want to be uncomfortable and you want to be that guy. It's like, yeah, these are still more excuses of being like, yeah, I got my ass whooped. But they gave me the fight.
He need Mick from the Rocky movies. Hell, Rock, you ain't been hungry since you won the fight. This kid's a murderer. He's gonna kill you, Rock.
Reyes came out, was like, man, it's like I did everything I came out to do. Like it came out exactly the way I planned it. It's like I was I really everything came out just like I planned. I practiced and I executed my plan. I
Right.
caught him with some shots. It was everything I could have hoped it would have been. But
Just
the
didn't go
judges
down.
just they didn't rule in my favor. But I left it all out there, and I feel really good about it. It's like everybody I
As you
talked to,
should.
everybody I talked to on my way through felt like I won the fight. They're like, yeah, man, you won.
Hey,
I mean, you listen to the two guys talk, and you listen to everyone else break the fight down, and you watch the fight. It's like, they took it. I mean, even the striking advantage. He won the first 3 rounds. In a 5-round fight, if you lose the first 3 rounds, you got to submit or knock out to win this fight. They're leaning on since he's the champion, you got to take it from him.
You gotta beat the champ.
He won 3 rounds out of 5.
Yeah, but you know the old saying, right? In order to take the belt, you gotta beat. You can't leave it to the hands of the judges.
But that's a boxing saying because they fight an even amount of rounds.
this shit
When
is-
it's an odd number of rounds,
What to give you all the reason, just win the odd number. But you still got to do it convincingly. I hear what you're saying, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate on this when I say that. It's gonna be one of those things where, he, maybe felt like he left it out on the table or left it down on the table, or what have you. So, it's one of those things that'll come out, man. Hopefully they'll do a Reyes Jones too, get the fans what they're looking for. We get out here and be able to say, hey, man, you can't rob them this time, and let's go to work on this thing.
oh yeah.
Good deal.
Yep, just like my brother Rock just jumped in, like he was the aggressor the whole fight, even though he lost.
And a lot of times that should sway a lot. That sways a lot of judges.
Normally they say that's why you don't win when you fight against a champion. It's like, hey, you weren't the aggressor, you got to take it from him. He
Right.
brought it to him the whole time.
Hey, Fees. Let's take a quick pause, man, and let everybody know we got our special guest in the house right now tonight. We got D. Ledbetter from the AJC. He's the beat reporter for the Falcons. He does a really great job. He's here with us tonight in studio. You know what I'm saying? To give us some of that flavor, that he brings, that you read about all the time. So, hey, big shouts out to D. Led, man. Mike Bell welcoming you to the
Thanks,
show on
Mike.
Petty Sports.
Appreciate it.
You got Dwight Banks over there.
Yeah, yo.
You got the man,
Thanks.
Petty Man, over here in the corner. You know what I'm saying? That's the guy right there. So we all pleased to meet you, man. Diehard Falcons fans in the house. We really appreciate you coming through. So everybody, let your people know. The table is full now. We got everybody on deck, and it's going down. All right. We smoking good sticks. We drinking real good, and it's going down. Okay. So hey,
Listen, I finally got somebody on the table that's gonna be true and honest with y'all about these Falcons.
That's right.
Cause you can't trust goddamn Mike Bell and Petty Man over there.
I think you're gonna be surprised.
And we not gonna mention the human Patriot fan right here next to me. So I'm glad you're on board with it.
If you haven't beat us in 20 years, you can't call us Patriots.
I'm just saying. So I'm glad you're here, D-Lad, brother. I'm glad you're here. Because I'm telling you, man, this thing here going to be rough. So tell the people a little bit about yourself, man, and, who you are and what you do for the AJC and the Falcons. And I think you cover high school and SEC as well, right?
Well, yeah, I did early on. Moved here in 2000, started covering Gwinnett County high schools and all the state championships and so forth. Had Lou Williams before he was Lou, before he's big time Lou Williams. Had Maya Moore too before she was big time. Darius Walker covered a lot of the kids, but I had already been in the game a while, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna cover these high school kids just like I covered the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl.
There you go.
And just like I covered the Bengals when they was doing the Icky Shuffle back in the day. That it wasn't gonna be long that I was gonna be doing high schools, but
Gotcha.
I went at it and moved up to the SEC ACC beat. And was working with Tony Barnhart, who was a good friend of mine. Tony was in Greensboro when I was an intern in Greensboro as a undergrad, and so got to work a couple years with him covering the best games in the South. He would pick the best game. I get the Auburn. I'll get the Auburn Tennessee game.
The throwaway game. You get the throwaway game.
I got the second game.
Okay.
I got Auburn year they was undefeated. I got Auburn.
Nice.
Jason Campbell and them, and Ronnie Brown and Cadillac.
Yeah.
And I had to, because I've been up north for a while, I couldn't understand what Cadillac was saying a lot. So I had to put Cadillac on slow rewind.
Oh man,
that Carterville special, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta get it.
You gotta get back together.
it's like our boy Ed at LSU, right?
Yeah, you gotta slow him down so you know what he's
That
saying.
sound like the water boy.
Yes,
So
sir.
then went to the Falcons after that. Started in 05, Vicks, the year they went to the NFC Championship game. That was my first game. And then me and my buddy Steve Weiss covered them together from 06 to 07, and he went to NFL Network. And then I've been covering him ever since. So since 2008 to
Good deal.
2019 and so forth. So
Sir.
good little run.
Extensive resume there, man. That's what's good. Hey, Banks, who we got in the chat room, man? You want to give a
Man,
shout out to,
everybody
man?
checking in right now. YPK, DeAndre Graham, Pam Lowe is checking in. D Bizzle, 808 on the beat is checking in. J Bo is checking in. We got Cordell White is checking in. My man Cordell is a heavy follower of the show. Gwendolyn Dirty Bird Allen checking in. That Dirty Bird is checking in. And how Pam Ogleday is checking in. And they starting to come in. That's just on the Facebook feed. I know we got some up on the Periscope as well.
That's right. And
good deal.
Start that watch party. You know what I'm saying? Share the show. Let them know it's on and we popping. We going in like we always do, all right?
Oh, yeah, they're checking in everywhere. Got LJ Torres, my brother Big Rock, my
That's
man
right.
John Gray. He's the president of the Patriots fan club. He already got a lot of questions for Led.
Okay. Okay. That's what's good. Yeah, and we got the line 678-871-9602 going on deck. My bad, Banks. I see Banks. He was ready,
Well,
too. I couldn't tell if you had a stick in your mouth or not. You know what I'm saying? I looked down there. I was like, dude, he had a stick. The mic's in my way. My bad, bro.
Okay.
I went solo. I did a Bobby Brown right quick. You know what I mean?
Gotta watch
Hey,
it.
we'll be back, though. Yeah, man. So, who you saying your watch party over there? Did you acknowledge your people?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's what's
Absolutely.
good. That's what's good, man. Yeah, man. So, hey, I guess we moving right along.
Oh, yes.
Hey, y'all.
I know most of Petty Nation has checked out this two-part 30 for 30 on Mike Vick. I mean, it's been captivating. They've been going for 2 weeks. It's 4 hours long. It don't even seem like you sitting and watching for that long. Because for everyone who is, you already know what that is. That's my 8:24 alarm.
It's time.
Kobe.
Let's do the Kobe.
8:24.
Kobe!
Hey, that's
Every
the
day,
new
8:24.
8:24, baby. You know what it is.
That's the only sound that's allowed to interrupt my broadcast. Got to do it one time.
That
every
right.
day. Yes, sir.
Maceo Heard, what up, boy?
Yeah.
Big Heard checking in.
What it do, baby?
Yeah, man. So, like, for everybody outside of the Atlanta area and the Virginia areas, I mean, between the two of those, most of it was kind of a recap because everybody in the areas lived through it. So you actually know most of what they were talking about. But for the rest of the country, it was very educational. I mean, they broke it down all the way from the beginning back to Virginia Tech days. Well, actually, before Virginia Tech, how he got there, how he matriculated through there. I mean, I didn't know a lot of that either. Mm-hmm. Then they went through when he got to Atlanta, how all of that phased out. Then the whole dog fighting thing. They spent a lot of time on that. And then they pushed forward into him coming back into the league with Philly, then going to the Jets, then the Steelers. Like, I thought they were going to come on in to talk about him, like, life as a commentator and doing his thing. I didn't quite make it that far, but, man, he has a hell of a story.
Yeah, he does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
One hell of a, I mean, I don't know if you want to call it, it's a made-for-TV special. Like, this 30 for 30 is just probably the start of what should be, you know, a TV movie about this kid, because he literally came from nothing, reached the highest pinnacle of, you know, the NFL,
Right.
lost it all, lost his freedom, and then was able to come back in such a way, man, that, you know, just an amazing testament to who he is as an individual, you know. And then, you know, family circle real tight. Mom and aunties never walked away from him, you know. Just one of those. Woo, just one of those.
So, man, since we got D-Led in the house, man, he's like right there in the action. Only one of us out here that actually knows the man. Like, describe your first encounter with Mike. Like, when you got to the teams in 2005, what was that like when you got out there to talk to him?
Well, you know, they were trying to get him to get more media savvy. And, you know, I didn't have a quarterback at first. So, you know, eventually we would get to, you know, have one-on-one sit-downs, me, him, and Steve, just to, you know, break the ice so we get to know each other better, and, you know, so we could work and cover the football team better. So, you know, that started off in 06. And, you know, build up a good rapport with them, you know. You know, that was a bumpy year. You know, coming off of the championship game. Then, you know, then next year, you know, Moore gets fired. They bring Petrino in to, you know, for Vic. And, you know, what they were doing in the offseason, the stuff they were running was looking hot. It was going to work. So, you know, but then, you know, the case came down. And we first got wind of it, and, you know, folks couldn't believe, oh, come on, you know, this is preposterous. He's the highest paid player in the league, fighting dogs. And so, you know, we had to, you know, come to grips with what was going on. Did some, you know, because, you know, I'm an attorney also, so I started doing some searches on his corporations and so forth in Virginia. And I kept seeing Lawrence Whitworth's name on the
Woody.
On the founding documents for Bad News Kennels.
Okay.
So at that point, you know, I'm like, okay, he's in something. Yeah, and according to the website, it was selling dogs, and they were all nice and fluffy dogs and so forth and so on. But, you know, the other documents that the FBI and the Humane Society were putting forth, you know, painted a whole nother picture. So
Gotcha.
at that point, I had to tell our editors, pump the brakes. We got a major case here.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah. We got a major case here, and so, you know, we had a big meeting. We had the managing editor in there, and had all the editors and so forth, and we gave them all the information we had. So then they started throwing more resources on the story, and we, you know, was spreading out from Virginia to South Carolina to where all the dogfighting play, Texas, Florida. You know, so I spent most of the 07 season on the road.
Wow. Really?
I wasn't at practice a lot.
Researching this story.
I was researching the story, and I was in court in Virginia a lot with at the trial with you know, the attorneys. Billy Martin went to the same law school I went to, and my judge that I clerked for was his classmate, Julie, from the lady that they made Scandal off of.
Julie Smith.
Julie Smith's calling me, and she knew Rock Newman, who was my dorm counselor at Howard, and Julia's honey baby, sweetie pie me, and so forth, you know. And I was just, hey, I just want to get the story. My story was, you know, the legal ramifications, and Billy Martin then was like, how soon can we get him back to the field at some point when all the you know, when all the guys started to take the pleas and so forth. So, you know, we were getting our information, and then at that point, you know, you know, it was, it was a major story. We were out, had to beat ESPN and get out in front. Steve Weiss did a great job.
Okay.
Our editor, Chris Viblamore, was on top of it. And we just had to get people the information. We wasn't picking sides at that point.
Gotcha.
And so, the columnists were, and I know Terrence Moore took some heat in the community. Mm-hmm. He's on the thing. He's on the 30 for 30. I was interviewed for it. They interviewed me for like an hour and a half in Buckhead, but I guess I didn't make the cut. I didn't make the cut. I'm cool with not making the cut on that one. Mm-hmm. But I told him what I knew and what we reported, and we stood behind everything we did. But yeah, that we could have done a better job of the socioeconomic upbringing of dogfighting, which was, in hindsight, who knows that? I mean, all I knew about is folks fighting German Shepherds, and I forwarded that information. And, them putting gunpowder in their mouths and so forth. And, that was
That's
way
old
back.
school.
Yeah. That's old school, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was before pit bulls were a parent dog of choice.
Yep.
And so, the Humane Society folks were very helpful in a discreet way, making sure that we were on point with, our facts.
Okay.
And then when we get the complaints and, making sure we knew when the trucks were rolling to go dig up the 7 dogs that had been shot in the head.
That your boy pointed out to him.
Yeah.
So when did this case, and at what point did it turn federal?
When they found out the dogs had been transported in interstate commerce.
Cross state
lines. He was going, when he was in Virginia Tech, he was going to North Carolina to one kennel that had the champion dogs.
Okay.
He wouldn't buy the champion dogs. Although he had all this money, he would buy the other dogs, lower dogs, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 dogs that he could coach up, or they thought they could coach up.
Right.
And so, his name wasn't really well regarded in the dog community. Because they felt that, if he's all this, he should be getting the bigger dog. So, but that's the side note. But
it goes back that far.
Yeah, it goes back. They've been following him for a while.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't, no police department in Virginia's trailing you, or nobody's got a hand on dog fighting. But the Humane Society, which I found out gets $20 million a year in donations. People love their dogs, so they've been.
Oh yeah,
they put the case. They dropped the case on the FBI's lap.
So and you watch the documentary, the young lady who was the superintendent of the Humane Society in Chesapeake County.
Yeah.
When she get the very first call, and they said it's a huge dog, we suspect to be a huge dog fighting operation. They said what it was. She says, "Is that Mike Vick?" Like, so they had already had him on the radar at that point. And the detective was like, well, I can't say right now, but we need you to come out and walk through and give us your thoughts on what you think it may be. So, wow, okay.
Man, and did you get any pushback from the team just bringing all that information in? I mean, I know that's real sensitive around here. Even for you to come in with all that.
Not just the team, but even Vic himself.
No, a little bit from Marcus, but the team was, cooperative because they're trying to, at that point, manage the crisis. Okay, I can't control the facts at that point.
Correct.
I just, as I find them out, they can either verify them or they can, verify, confirm or deny.
There you go.
And so, they had Bobby Petrino out there, which was bizarre because he had nothing to do with none of it. So, some, higher up folks should have been speaking.
Correct.
But they had Bobby Petrino out there, and he can't tell you nothing. So there wasn't nothing he could tell you. But there were people from the team that were working with Vic and his family, and they were cordial to us. They're professional with us, and made sure Keon Carter was around a lot. He played with Vic at Virginia Tech, so he was kind of our conduit to the family. Okay. And, I had covered Marcus at the combine, and some of my guys, Michael Wright at ESPN, we knew the family and so forth. So it was delicate because of the situation. But Billy Martin was our direct conduit too, to the information. And of course, we had our sources in the Humane Society because you got to cover both sides. But the team Team was they were just trying to manage their crisis. They were going to take a business hit. That's beyond the scope of what I'm trying to do. I just got to get the facts. And Steve had to do with what was going on with the football team.
Okay. Good deal.
Cool.
Now, I want to ask you this, and we always had this conversation here about it. When you watch the documentary, Mike lied to his lawyer. He turned around, he lied to Goodell.
Right.
And he turned around and he lied to Arthur Blank. It's my impression that had he just been truthful about it, even just to his lawyer from the onset of the incident, maybe they could have spun this a different way. And he would not have taken that one PR hit, and then they could have got out in front of him. We watch, white celebrities or white football players do accused of rape and what have you. They get out in front of this thing, and maybe it's a PSA, a couple of $1 million to the Humane Society, he walks away. What's your impression of that?
Yeah, in retrospect, I think when you look at the timeline, if they would have known, they wouldn't have traded Matt Schaub to Houston.
Yeah.
It was 29 days before the draft, and they didn't have to trade him that early. If they knew something was going on, hey, there was an investigation coming up. It could be, it could be a year, could be a couple weeks, could be a couple months. Then you hold on to the other quarterback.
Right.
Okay, and then that's one. And then two, then he goes to the draft. And before going there on TV saying that, he already told Blank, who was on the safari, if I'm not real fuzzy on the facts, he's in Africa with the fam, kicking it.
Wait. He's on a safari. Now, he probably killed an elephant and brought him. Allegedly. It's highly likely that he probably killed an elephant for that illegal touch. Yeah, he's on a safari. But, hey,
I'm going to say he was riding the elephant.
That's what rich white guys do.
I'm good with the owner, so I'm going to say he was on the safari.
That's what billionaires do. They bring home, they get that illegal, that high quality
ivory tusk.
That ivory tusk, and they got it in their vault at the house. But we're not going to put it on Daddy Blank. We're just going to say he was on safari with his family.
Right,
yeah. Allegedly.
Right. And so all he had to do was tell the owners what was up.
Right.
And then they could have helped him, but it got too far down the road to where his help couldn't get to him. The best help he got was Andy Reid and Tony Dungy on the other side of it.
On the other side of it.
On the other side, 2 years later, 18 months later, and untold millions lost.
Now what? Go ahead.
But do you actually think had he came clean with Blank, it would have made a difference?
I do. The resources that could have been brought to bear with the Humane Society. Maybe it doesn't get to the federal level. Maybe you give up the dogs. There's a plea. There's things that could have been done differently for the whole Bad News Kennel operation that would have been beneficial for him.
Correct.
And the team.
Okay.
And the dogs.
Okay.
I think there was a solution early on that could have been had that would have avoided a federal case.
Okay. All right.
But on another note, had they not got rid of Shaw 20-some days before the draft, might not have gotten that information about Mike in a lot of deeper trouble, we wouldn't have number 2 right now. Because I doubt in that year they would have picked him in the first round if they had Schaub and Vic still on the roster.
No, because what happened, once he goes in, they go in the tank. Bobby Petrino leaves. The sponsors go.
Yeah.
There's they're not a banner to be found in the Georgia Dome. It's not a booth to be filled. There's nobody in the suites. There's nobody there.
Nobody.
I'm talking about there's nobody there. And so they got to rebuild the franchise back up, from the ground
up.
From a marketing standpoint, so they can go back into the corporate living rooms and get the people back in the suites and back in the boxes.
And here rides in this clean cut boy out of Boston College. Matty Ice.
You over there growling, man. He took you to a Super
He
Bowl.
went to the playoffs in the first year.
Hey man, generational talent, but we'll get into that later. So, and that's some real good insight, man. That's
Like the team, I know they were blindsided by the information. Were you close enough to the players to actually see if any of them were actually surprised about it? No, they were around him all the time. They knew he was going back and forth up there. Was everybody like, oh my God, I can't believe this? Or was some of them sitting around there like, oh yeah, they got him?
The guys I'm closest to, over time on that team, they didn't have a clue. Because he kind of came in to work, went to his spot in
Virginia,
in Sugarloaf,
okay.
and went home to Virginia when he's out rehabbing. The year that he broke his ankle was the year the dog kennel stuff took off. He liked dogs. He was into dogs. Marty Carter, former Falcon.
Right.
From LaGrange, was reputed. He's supposed to be a dog guy too, and allegedly. Allegedly,
Like
so
that media obligation.
there was some buzz about it, and Dan Reeves told Arthur Blank that, hey, if you fire me, you lose control of Mike, because he had him on a great path. He had him on an Elway path, and but the owner wanted his own coach, and didn't listen to Coach Dan, is my understanding.
So now, being close to that situation, do you think Arthur Blank overreacted firing him over the fact that he played him in that preseason game and subsequently broke his ankle? Was that like a knee-jerk reaction from Arthur Blank, in your opinion?
No, it was coming.
Okay.
It was coming because Arthur Blank just got the team in 02, and the new owners are coming. It just happened to Rivera in Charlotte. When the new owner takes over, they want their guy. They want to be able to say, "This is my guy. I'm in place." You very rarely see the owner keep the holdover coach, even if it is Dan Reeves, who's been to 4 Super Bowls at that point. Well, 6 maybe. I don't know. 8 if you count the player ones.
Okay.
But even a coach of that stature, they still want their guy. And so to fire him the year that Mike was out, was a little harsh. Everybody knew it, but he was really close to getting Nick Saban that year. It was if they would have waited a couple more days. I was reading through the clips. I was doing a search on how he did the coaching searches. They were close to getting Saban, but settled with Mora.
So Nick Saban,
back in the day, that was worried about. And then he ended up
they got
going
Jim
to Miami.
Mora, so it's even worse. But
I'm sorry to bring that up.
Yeah, you got Mora, then Petrino, then so it was a whole cluster of bullshit coaches in between that recycle. And my boy Fee say recycle bullshit coming through there. Like, it was what it was.
Yeah, Nick Saban wasn't Nick Saban in Miami either. So
he was. I'm not saying it, but you're absolutely correct.
It wasn't like he came to the league and turned into Belichick.
Yeah.
Do you think it was a smart move or a knee-jerk reaction by Arthur Blank to fire Dan Reeves?
I promise you right now.
You know how I do, man.
I know that PTSD be kicking in.
It do.
He just answered that, though.
What did he say?
Yeah, he said no.
Okay.
He said it was coming anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that was one of Dan Reeves' biggest regrets in the film, that he couldn't stay on the team to help coach up Mike Vick to you know what I'm saying, to the promised land, if you will.
And you look at it and you think, like Les said, it looks like Dan Reed had him on a good note, at least had his ear.
The playoff game in Green Bay showed what could have been. Nobody had walked up in there in December and beat the Packers.
Right.
Yeah.
Nope.
In Lambeau Field, playoff time.
Yeah.
And I remember when that game came on, the announcer said, "It's unseasonably warm in Lambeau Field." Hey, man, and Mike Vick goes up in there and shows his natural black ass.
Hey, guys, we want to take this time to thank you for joining us and the show tonight. We have a full table with our special guest, D. Orlando Ledbetter, here on Petty Sports Monday Night Edition, brought to you by King's Broadcasting Studios. And, hey, share it. You know what I'm saying? We're live right now on 3 different social media platforms, Periscope, Twitter, and Facebook. So share the page, join the page, call a friend, neighbor, text a friend, neighbor, co-worker, let them know we on, we live, we popping, we doing what we do, we having fun, we talking Atlanta right now. Atlanta Falcons, the 30 for 30, and hey, ATL, ho, what's up?
Yes, sir. So, man, I know you just came in talking about how, what the whole system looked like with Petrino in the preseason, them getting everything going with Vic. So, you're saying that was the what was that, the 2005, 2006 season or 06, 07?
No, 07 is Petrino, yeah.
Okay.
07, 06 is the Jim Mora year where he says he wants to go to coach at Washington and gets fired. After I think they started the season 6-2, and then Sam Cangato from Green Bay came in and ran all over him, and then it went downhill after that. So
damn, they could have had. They'd have been in the mix, and that 2007 season was crazy on so many accounts.
Yeah, no doubt. It was the most craziest season I ever covered. I mean, other than flying back and forth to Richmond, I would come back. They would say, you don't have to come to the games, but I felt, I'm the beat writer. I got to come to the games too. So I would fly back in time to get myself together to go to the games, and then fly back out on Monday. Then just the players. Leftwich comes in. We got Joy Harrington that year.
Come on, man.
So Joey couldn't throw the ball quick enough in Petrino's offense, so he was getting lit up. So they get Leftwich. Leftwich is in, and Algie's over there warming up with him, pumping up Leftwich.
He's shot putting balls into the crossbar.
Yeah, and then down in Tennessee, and then Chris Redmond. Then Bobby comes in and tells us, the media, oh yeah, we're gonna go with Leftwich this week. So of course he hadn't told Harrington. So we ran right to Joey Harrington. Hey, how do you feel about getting benched? So he was like, huh?
What are you talking about?
Then we done figured out the media just benched Joey Harrington. And so it was just wild. It was all the way around wild. And the players, the nicest guy on the team, Warwick Dunn.
My guy.
They leave. Bobby Petrino leaves, puts the letter in their lockers. And that next day, everybody's like, hey, this, Warwick, the nicest guy in America. Built homes for untold single moms.
Right.
Even Warwick is going in on the coach because they felt you quit. You quit on
That's
them.
right.
He did.
Quit on them. And so from then on, we was cool with all them cats. Lloyd Malloy, Algie, Warwick, and then some of them stuck around. McClure, Todd.
Right, Todd McClure.
They stuck around and helped rebuild the thing.
Roddy
under Coach
White.
Smith.
Roddy,
Roddy, of course.
was there.
Joe Horn was there that year. Now he's in some
After we
trouble.
got rid of Peerless Price.
They was gone by then.
Yes, sorry. yes, exactly. Good deal.
Yeah, man. So after the way that whole thing went down, man, Mike got 23 months in prison. Everything already hit the fan. The verdict's been rendered, all of that. What is the process like for him to have actually gotten back in the league? Did y'all think that there was any way he would ever play again?
No, you first had to have a taker. And, could he play? Was he going to be talented enough? Sure. He was going to be top 10. He wasn't going to be a backup. Which team was going, take him? And the perfect union was Philly and Andy Reid, who could use him as kind of a Donovan McNabb replacement. And he had some weapons, had some great game. I know the Monday night game was just awesome.
Oh yeah, the Giants come back.
Yeah, and but it was one little flaw in his game that didn't that showed up. It showed up against Minnesota. He's left-handed and he couldn't see the slot nickel. And so Anton Wingfield just kept bombing him. He just kept blowing him up. And that should have been something from film study he could have, fixed early on in his career. But we know he didn't study a lot. But if he would have, if he would have stayed on his path, studied his game to match his physical talents, that would have been the beauty of, Michael Pitt. That would have been, that would have been something majestic to watch. A guy that's not only got the athletic tools, but also got the brain to read the defenses on the run and not just try to outrun everybody and pick them apart and dissect them and cut them up. We saw a little bit of that in Philly, and that's what we should have been seeing for the whole 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So-
And much
could've been
more.
a thing of beauty.
And much more.
When you look at it and people say, Mike Vick ushered in the era of the athletic quarterback and this, that, and third, and he has a lot of he should have a lot of credit for what we see now in these young quarterbacks. I tend to say he left a lot on the table of what would have and could have been. So I don't necessarily give him the credit for it. It's like that the dream unfulfilled type of deal with Mike Vick. Amazing talent, but just didn't put it to work. But we saw once he got to Philly. But my question to you is, why do you think that is? Because once he got to Virginia Tech, they actually had in a redshirt him his freshman year, and they made him study film and do all that. So he had that foundation. And I know Atlanta, home of the strip club. You got, he got the rappers out here. He was that hip hop guy. And he running around with Luda, JD, Young G's, and all that. Yeah. Is Atlanta that city that you really can't bring a young black player in and hope that they can stay on task?
Oh no, you could manage that part of it too. I forgot the one club that used to hang out at the outdoor one over there by the MARTA station was down by Georgia Tech. That was one of the ones. But it'll come to me. That ain't important.
Was it compound, or was that actually even a thing
Compound,
then?
not the
Not
compound.
compound. It
Yeah, I
was,
think it's
Like
the
that couldn't have been a
compound.
thing that far back. Was it?
Yeah, it was.
I guess it has been popping that long, huh?
Yeah.
To the
But-
Marta Bus Garage.
Over there by
Yeah.
Stack.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
On
So-
Brady Avenue and North Avenue.
Right, over that way. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the
That was-
compound on Tom Brady Avenue.
Yeah, but but
That's why I remember where it is.
What it is.
Oh my God! Found a way to plug his guy, like always, right?
Always.
Never fails.
But I don't give him credit for that, even if he would have done it, because it was a guy named Randall Cunningham.
That before him.
And then Randall did the whole evolution from running quarterback to throwing quarterback. When he's in Minnesota, he's not looking to run.
Well,
he got Randy Moss.
but he also had it. Same as Vic, though. He had that. I think, how long was Cunningham out of the league before he came in? 2 years or 3?
About 2, yeah.
And he was doing construction work.
Yeah.
And came back in and learned to be cerebral in his thought process and how he broke down the game and so forth. But he still had a cannon arm, and then he had the ability to have Chris Carter, Randy Moss,
Jake Reed.
He had Robert Smith back there running the ball. So he had that that core of wide receivers and running back game. And then he had a hell of a defense behind him as well. So
Randy makes you look cerebral.
he damn sure did it for Brady, because I think that was one of Brady's best stat years. But we ain't gonna go there.
Randy Moss, what he said when he was with Minnesota, hey man, just chuck it, just throw the ball, I'll get it.
But he had, he had Jake Reed and Chris Carter to mentor
Working
him in that too. Yeah, to make sure that those guys ran the underneath stuff, the hard to get stuff. Randy,
just blow right by.
Yeah, you just go by. So.
But having him out there made it easier for them to run underneath.
Exactly.
They may not have been as effective if they had to worry about that.
No, they did it long before Randy Moss got in the league, man. You cannot take away from
I'm
Chris
not saying
Carter.
that Chris Carter is not a Hall of Fame wide receiver. All I'm saying is if you on the field with Randy Moss, all of a sudden everyone looks better.
But
Wes Welker looked like a damn Hall of Famer playing with Randy because you couldn't cover him.
But
you got to send 3 people with Randy.
He was Chris Carter before Randy Moss got there. Like, it's just what it was. And I mean, I think he's one of the guys that, from that. So Randy Moss is from West Virginia. So he kind of had that swagger, that AI, Michael Vick, I'm the big bad man on campus. And Chris Carter and Jay Reed probably one of those guys that were able to say, hey, I'm going to make you into a professional. And Vic did not have that, in the first few years of his career with the Falcons. He didn't have it. I mean, shit, he got here and all of a sudden the Georgia Dome was the place to be.
Yep.
Like, listen, a freaking block party every Sunday. Inside, you weren't going to be standing around. You got in your seats because you wanted to see what this kid was going to do. He's the face of the NFL. AirTran got him where he can fly back and forth with all his people in first class. What can you tell a kid like that?
Nothing.
He
owned the city.
He owned the league. He owned the league, man.
He was the face. He was the face because everywhere he went, he put asses in those seats.
Well,
everybody around the country, everybody
Yes.
wanted to see this kid play.
Yes.
And to get back to your point about him being at Virginia Tech and how the coaching staff actually sat him down and forced his hand to stay in the film room to study plays and do what he was supposed to as a quarterback. And that was very frustrating for him. He even said that because he's not used to that coming out of high school.
Correct. But
And
a lot
he
of kids
also-
aren't.
But he also mentioned when he got to the NFL, he said that playbook was stupid. So if he had that mindset in college to where he's like, hey, man, damn, this is a lot of motherfucking information for me to be processing in such a short time. And you get to the NFL and you have that big playbook and you need to be on the money as the leader of the team and the quarterback to be effective. I believe that had a lot to do with him not being in that study room like he should have been because it was just overwhelming and he was distracted.
Well, like Led said, Dan Reeves held him accountable. He give him a CD and then he asked some questions about that CD to find out if you watched it and you broke it down.
And Vic did state that.
Once he left, like, I think Shockley said it. He said they were almost scared to piss Mike Vick off because you might get fired.
Exactly.
So now, either you do it, all right, but listen, if it break down, just do what you do, kid.
Exactly.
Well,
Yep.
and the other thing was guys learn differently. Some guys can read a book and learn the book. Some people you got to draw it on the board for them. Some people you
gotta
got to
act it
use
out.
pictures. Some people you got to show video to. So they were on their way to finding what worked for him. Because that year they went to the NFC Championship game, they were running the full West Coast.
Full West Coast.
Yes,
Full
sir.
West Coast with Warwick running the stretch. And you had Duckett on the power. What that was a DMV. What was it? What was it called? I forgot. Dunn Vic.
John Vick, and it wasn't
The big
Duckett.
boy,
It was
the fullback, Duckworth.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
No,
it was
Duckett.
Duckett,
Duckett.
Duckett
Way to
from
go, Pitt,
Michigan
man.
State.
Okay.
So DVD. Yeah, they was rolling that, and Algie was open. You had young Roddy.
Roddy
wasn't
was
there,
coming
wasn't
in.
there yet.
Yep.
Finneran was running the deep route
Brian Finner.
up in Green Bay. So they were on their way to something, putting the whole thing together. Because I remember that the playoff game, they eliminated the world's greatest show on turf.
Yeah.
But that was Joe D. Camillus and Alan Rossum on special teams. They just ran about 200 yards of special teams on that game, ran them up out of the stadium. Got the right. And Jordan Dunn was rocking, too.
Hey, man, it was a special place.
Yeah. And then they went up to Philly, and it was cold, and, man, Brian Dawkins hit Algie early in that game.
He hit Michael Vick.
Hit Michael Vick. Yeah, they
Smoked him out
wasn't
there.
getting nothing
Hey,
going
man.
on. They couldn't get it rolling up there that day. It was a tough day.
And the shot he took on Algie, but it was a completed catch across the middle. He drilled it. You didn't see Algie Crumpler take too many shots like that.
No, not like that.
And I think in that game, Dawkins actually got the interception that sealed the game too.
He did.
So
Algie Crumpler, he went to his knees and was like,
Yeah,
damn,
shit,
boy, he
shot.
stuck me good.
yeah. But at that time,
He was still allowed to hit.
Dawkins was that guy though. Like,
Yeah.
you come across the middle, you're gonna pay for this
got
shit
it,
coming
yeah.
across it. Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Want to plug the shows that we have here on King's Broadcasting. Thank you for joining tonight with our special guest, D. Orlando Ledbetter from the AJC. He's the beat reporter for the Atlanta Falcons. And we want to thank you guys once again. Without no you, there is no us. So share the show to all your friends, neighbors, and co-workers. Let them know we're on. Join the page, Petty Sports page, King's Broadcasting page. And tune in to the other shows that we have coming throughout the week as well. We have 808 on the Beach that comes on Friday nights at 8 with D Bizzle and Q Smooth, where they highlight hip-hop artists. It is a hip-hop show, so if you're into hip-hop, they highlight a lot of the local talent here to help bring you some of the new talent and share their work with us that you may not hear on the radio as of yet. So tune in to those guys on Fridays, and you got the No Name Show that airs on Sundays at 8 o'clock as well. So stay tuned for the Cigar Life, Cigars, and Libation podcast. It's coming. We have also Petty Man, the podcast. Stay tuned for that one. Last week on Wednesday, the debut or the pilot show, as they like to call it, you had the Watch for the Hook show with Petty Man himself and our country kinfolk, Rio. You know what I'm saying? It was a really nice show. It's a show where we talk everything Atlanta. So, hey, that's a hot one right there. So stay tuned for that one. You got to watch for the hook and stay tuned for the drop. We don't have a designated day for that one. It just go hot when it go hot. And, hey, that's what we're doing right now, all right? And you can watch us on Facebook, Periscope, and Twitter right now. You know what I mean? And we're on kingsbroadcasting.com. That's the internet. You can click the internet radio and hear us as well right now live. So thank you for tuning in once again and enjoy the show, all right? We got some questions in there right now. So when we move on to see what's going on with the Falcons presently, D. Ledbetter, everybody want to hear what you got to say about that one.
We got a nice little segue right on into there. Before we jump off into that, we just got one more question on you with that, man. Just give us one of your fondest or funniest memories of while you had a chance to cover Mike.
Well, that after that game when that was the biggest one, winning that Rams game, and Mike was able to break it down, and just kind of on the other side of that was that game and getting them to they had won the playoff game in Green Bay, but they couldn't close that year. Just that, and then going into the NFC Championship game with the chance to go to the Super Bowl, all of a sudden, Atlanta's on the map. I seen it from when he got here. I remember riding down South Kyle when they made the trade with the Chargers. I'm like, oh, it's on now. It's on and popping. Drew Brees was involved in that trade too, with the draft picks and so forth. So I was like, man, Dan Reed's going for it. So to see it come full circle and then it just kind of stop was really hard. But that was probably one of the best things. He was always respectful to the AJC it kind of started going bad when he got busted in Miami with the bottle coming through the airport. I had to fly down to Miami and meet with the law enforcement officials on that, and then the other case came, so it was kind of a little bumpy, but I talked to him at the Super Bowl this year, and he's with Fox now, and we all have moved on, and he had a job to do, I had a job to do, and we keep it like that.
Cool.
Good deal.
Cool. That's what's happening.
Good deal.
Hey, that's what's up, man. You see, y'all got that up close and personal, firsthand account and insight from my man D. Orlando Led, right there in the whole mix. Man, we appreciate you coming out and talk about that.
Sure, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Exclusive.
Yeah, man. Hey, and if you got questions for D-Leg, call us on the Petty Sports line right now, 678.
871.
9602.
Yeah, call into the crew, make it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? D-Leg wide open, nothing off limits. If you got questions, hey, he's here to answer them, all right?
Can we say that we the shit right now? This man was interviewed for the ESPN 30 for 30, man. We got him right here with y'all, man. I don't know what more I can do for you.
That right.
What more can we do for y'all?
Hey, this is another Atlanta legend right
Hey,
here.
man,
You know what I mean?
exclusive,
Oh,
man.
yeah. For real.
You can catch his blogs. How often your blogs come out?
Every Wednesday, 9 o'clock, cover 9 at 9.
Oh, and give them all your social media information to follow
social
you.
media on Twitter at DOrlandoAJC, and our Facebook page is Atlanta Falcons News Now, and we pump everything out on the Twitter and the Facebook pages, and go to AJC.com and go to the Sports and the Falcons page. We appreciate it if you bookmark that and come back. We're kind of slow right now, downloading after the Super Bowl, kind of getting ready to gear up for the Combine. The Falcons will be talking up there on the 24th. By then, we should know something on Hooper and Devondre Campbell, what they're going to do with their free agents, how they're going to replace Vic Beasley. They're going to try to do it in the draft for free agency. Don't look like they got much money, but they've got some of the best capologists in the league with Nick Polk, who's able to pull some rabbits together last year and get some linemen in here. They didn't work that good, but, they know what they need.
Okay.
They know what they need, and they're going to try to get it. So.
You can come here every week, man, because I tell you, I promise you, I say the same thing. Yeah, we broke. Man, they figure it out somehow, some way.
Now, with that being said, by you saying they know what they need, do you think they should spend any time in the draft looking for anything offensively and not going for something on that defensive line first?
We get to piece it together, because first free agency will come first.
Okay.
So free agency will tell us what they're gonna get during the draft.
Okay.
So if they go out and sign a bunch of defensive linemen, then you open.
Okay.
They need a left guard. If you go out and sign a left guard, then you can go in defense.
So Gano not gonna make it.
They need it unless Gano. Unless he can, you go out and try to get you a guard. Don't get somebody that can play. Get a guard. If you don't get the guard and you don't get the defensive lineman, then everything's wide open.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, you got to think. You got to put them together.
Okay.
Got to put free agency on top of the draft, because that's March, and then April you get to the draft. But you definitely got to be scouting the pass rushers and the left guards. You might can find a rusher later, but you're not gonna find, at 16, you're not getting a, blue
Premium
chip
player,
automatic cat
Right.
that's gonna come in and turn the whole thing around. You can get a good quality player. You got Ridley in that kind of group. A couple years ago, Tack was a 16. We seen him come in and do some stuff, but hadn't really taken off. You hit goal in the 5th round with Grady Jarrett. That's what you want to do. You want to hit some goal. You hit with Austin Hooper, but now you got $10 million for him.
I don't know.
Thing of it is though,
I don't know.
and so my personal thing, I think they're gonna hit him with the franchise, but I think it may piss him off. He may do a holdout. So but you look at that's. Not the 16 year, the 17 year, everybody wanted his head. He had a whole lot of tip balls go through his hand for interception and this, that, and the third. And oh my God, Austin Hooper is horrible. Come back 18, shows some stride. Then last year it was like shit, man, he top 2-3. You take out Kittle and what's the other boy name? Kelsey. You like, man, he's right there.
Yeah.
So now you see the progression in it, and so forth. We often joke about it, here on the show about we don't necessarily have a whole lot of faith in TD, Blank, Quinn, all them being able to go in there and get that talent. Like it's easy to find that Ridley and say, yeah, he's that guy. We pick him, he's good. But if you look at some of our other picks, other than Grady Jarrett, it's kind of been like, I don't know if y'all can really judge talent.
Well, yeah. My only point, my point is that they do good on the skill positions.
Okay.
There's a Jalen Collins in there that you miss on. You hit on Dion, you hit on Keanu.
Yeah.
You had some hits. But when you stack up his picks from 08 to 19 on the offensive and defensive lines, you only got one Pro Bowler, and that was Jake Matthews in an alternate year. And people think they might have should have got Taylor Lewan with that.
Hey, and he shows, like you say, he shows splashes and flashes, but then you look at last, I think he led the line in holding, and some people say, well, he just protected Matt. Nah, I think he just bad footwork.
Yeah. He certainly hasn't been I covered Anthony Munoz, so it's hard for me to, I've seen what left tackle supposed to look like.
You know what it's supposed to look like.
I know what it's supposed to look like. And I don't see many days when it looks like that. But he's a good solid football player. But I'm talking about going back to Puree Jerry over Clay Matthews Jr. That was a bad pick. Any line pick. Mike Jones was going to be a player till he broke his ankle.
Okay.
Holmes and Peter Collins, those were the poster boys for when they were trying to rebuild the line. It didn't work. They had to go out and pay Alex Mack. And then on the defensive side, I had Sid Berry in the 4th round. Thought he was going to play. Massaquoi thought he could be a player. Saw him on Saturday in the XFL getting down. But when you look at the list of the linemen, whoever's been picking a lineman don't need to be picking a lineman no more.
You argue almost Duke. You got Duke Riley. You spent that on Duke.
Third round pick. You got to get a player in the third round.
You got to get a player.
3 rounds, you got to get players.
That's right.
I agree. But it seems like the guys like Ricardo Allen, they kind of homegrown. They got late and they kind of put through the system, so to speak. And even Austin Hooper turned out to be damn good ball players.
Right. And Hoop was a junior eligible coming out of Stanford, so he was a little young, and so
Jay Boulder Joker.
He was gonna take some time.
Okay.
But he got on the field early. They had the veterans in here to teach him. My boy Tammy from Kentucky was here that first year to help him out. And he didn't come back to the ball against Miami, cost him a game. We wanted to talk to him after the game, and he was like, I gotta go talk to my mother. And so
ran in the cafeteria to hide.
Yeah. So we're like, Randy Waters, nicest guy in the media, so we're like, okay, he's trying to blow us off, but then he grows up,
right?
And he let us know this year that he grew up when he made the Pro Bowl against, like, yeah, and you was the one on my case. He
got a little swag about it when he did that.
I was like, hey man, I'm trying to do my job. I'm just trying to cover football,
right? Nothing
personal. And he's like, yeah, right. So I'm like, hey, if that's how if he got to get his edge off of the media, go ahead, man. I'm trying to get the stuff to the people.
So hell, the rankings speak volumes. They did what they did, but it's like, man, they're bad on the line. They ranked 25th in pass blocking.
I was going to ask.
It's terrible. There's only 32 teams. You rank 25th. You get Matt Ryan killed.
Yeah, 48 sacks
this year,
135 hits. That was you can't live that way. And I think the guard can play.
Yeah, all right. Was out. He got hurt.
Can play on the tackle, can run block.
I was going to ask you, how would you grade our 2 first-round picks from last year, McGarry and Lindstrom?
And Lindstrom, I give Lindstrom he get an incomplete A because he was out.
Right. Okay.
But when he was out on the field, he was getting down.
Okay. Incomplete A.
That solidified a lot.
Good deal.
So McGarry could run block, but you saw they told me coming out he was going to have trouble against speed rushers, and we saw that. He gave up 13 sacks. So he got to learn how to set quicker, punch faster, or hold, or tackle.
Okay.
You got to do something. You can't let the cat
Do the
get by
Jake
you.
Matthews. Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
Hey, we got a
know.
call on the petty line.
Block him in the back or what?
We got a call on the petty line. Who we got right here on the line tonight? You on with D. Ledbetter and the petty sports staff. Hey, J-Bo, what's good, man? You got him. Speak on it.
Hey, man, what's going on? I want to welcome D-Led to the show, man.
Thank you.
All right.
He welcomed you to the show, D-Led.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I just got one question. I just want to ask. I know me and, Banks and Petty Man and Mike Diamond, we all done asked the question. How do you think our offense going to be with Dirk Cutter sitting up under that position?
Well,
Go ahead.
yeah, I think Dirk. I'm fine with Dirk. It's a little different. It's a lot of 5-7 step drops, but he's got to have protection. He runs the Air Coryell attack. You got to get some time to get Julio down the field. You got to get some time to let Calvin Ridley do his double moves and so forth. But I think he could add to that by doing some of the things he did when he was here the first time around when they were, got to the championship game against Kaepernick and the 49ers. Throw a lot more quick balls, get some balls out quick, some screens, some quick slants, things like that that'll help out that offensive line as it's currently constituted. So they're not sitting at 5 and 7 step drops. But I think what hurt the offense last year, they were getting behind by so many points in those the first 8 games that the offense had to throw. Then they're not a pass protecting line, so they were built to run. Quinn said that. So when you get behind, the defense isn't on point, which they were lost trying to do those mixed schemes and so forth. But I'm fine with Dirk Cutter. I understand. Some of the fan base is not. But that's fine. I think he's one of the better signal callers in the league. We saw him run the ball very well at Jacksonville. We saw him throw it very well here. Now you want to see him put those two offenses together.
Okay.
Hey, J-Bo, you got any other questions, man? We appreciate you calling.
Oh, ain't no problem, man.
Anything else you got for D-Led?
That's all I got. That's my main question. I want to know if our offense going to be up.
Okay, appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot, man.
Rise up.
Since y'all on to the offense, how sold are you on Devontae Freeman? Y'all are built to run.
I like that.
Paid him a lot.
Appreciate you, J-Bo.
Like, do you think they really actually need to make a move on that? Because I don't really view Free as a top-tier running back, but he's making top-tier money.
Yeah, I kind of tweeted that out during the San Francisco game. Did they they picked the wrong running back because they paid him
Clearly.
and didn't pay Coleman.
They paid him
but
too early, though. I just
paid him too early, and I didn't like him holding out before the Super Bowl. They land in Houston, and he's talking about holding out and so forth. I thought that was very poor timing. And then, not to back it up after you get the deal. They're like, okay, we'll get you. We'll take care of you. Then they take care of him. Then, the 1 year he's, he has a concussion, doesn't do it that much. And then the next year he's hurt and got the groin injury. Then he comes back this year and only averaged 3.6 yards a carry. So they got to ask the question, hey, was it Freeman or was it the line?
Or was it, do you think that he's 100%? Do you think he's still shell-shocked? Because it looked like he wasn't the Free of old, like he's kind of second-guessing himself, a stutter stepping. And, a lot of people came to him and said, you have to change your running style because you're going to continue to get these concussions and it's going to cut your career short. So I think at the beginning of the season, for sure, he was very hesitant about hitting the hole, second-guessing himself. And he wasn't that downhill, I'm just going to get it, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, like we like to say you need to get from a running back. He wasn't doing it. It was more like I'm unsure of myself.
Yeah, and he was changing directions unnecessarily.
Yes.
And breaking off runs too quickly, which I attributed to Russ. Because he, had only played, 2 games a year before, 8 the year before that. So I was like, oh, he's rusty. But it never got any better.
It never got any better.
And, he's only 27, though. I hate to throw a 27-year-old kid under the bus, but maybe we could renegotiate, give him an incentive-laden deal. Hey, you get back to Free, we got a stack of money for you.
How much time you got to wait on it, though?
But it's just
how many seasons are you going to waste waiting on him to get his feelings back together?
Well, the thing about it, the year that he got the concussions, Coleman didn't damn break it down either.
No.
He wasn't doing it, so you say, okay, maybe it was the line.
Right.
Then he goes out to Shanahan, which we understand Shanahan does a hell of a job of exploiting mismatches and, stretching the field and getting. And Coleman is a guy that is not in between the tackle. He's an off guy, stretch run guy, utilize his speed, get 1 foot in the ground and get vertical. That's what he does.
Well,
So he didn't do much.
Keep Coleman thing. Like I'm not even riding that train. Like you should move on to somebody else altogether.
So you bring in a rookie in here, right? And you say, okay, well, rookie running backs coming out of college, it's kind of like either he's the fucking guy or you're taking it's a crapshoot on him. And it's hard to say, how many, I've not really looked at a whole lot of running backs, but the kid from Wisconsin, he'd probably be there at 16 because they're not taking running backs high in the draft anymore. It's things like that. Then you say, well, is that really a pressing need? Can we get free back to doing that? Will he be willing to take a family-friendly deal to say, hey, man, I'll, divert some of this salary? But I think at this point, he's damn near paid out all of his bonus and whatnot.
Yeah, it's I think he got 12 out of the 40-something million already. Close to maybe 20. But, you can, I think he's due 7 this year and 8 next year. It ain't really bad. But you do have Quadri Allison, a young kid who came in and ran some power before you on the goal line and so forth. I want to see more of that.
And what's the other kid name that came in? The other guy that backed up free. Allison was the power guy, but that was
Brian.
Somebody help me out there in Petty Nation. But yeah, so but if you let him go, then how much dead cap space did that hit you with then at that point? So it'll
hit you next year. That's why they're trying to get the CBA done so you could go back to your June 1 deals and start spreading more money out.
Gotcha. So it's a damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Would you rather not have dead cap space and lose, or have the dead cap space and actually address the issue and just swallow it?
Well, I think if you allow him to come back and say, hey, can you give me – hopefully you can come back to where you were or close to where you were. And then next year that deal is a lot more friendly as far as your cap hit than it would be this year. We only got like, what, $6 million in cap space? You can't take you fuck around and take a $4 million hit. You like Pittsburgh Steelers. They only got $1.2 million. So you fucked in the game.
You can pick up somebody like ATN and get 4 years.
What you think about Ito Smith, man?
Ito Smith's the kid I was thinking about.
Ito. Ito looked good running the inside zone. He got hurt trying to pass block up high, which I don't know why they don't bring in work done to teach these kids how to cut block.
Master 5'5", 5'6" guy.
Yeah, he cut down. He chopped it down.
Paul Bunyan.
But yeah, no doubt. So, but I'm worried about Ito because they've been real hush about this neck injury.
Okay.
So neck, and I'm thinking Sterling Sharp. Neck. How bad is it?
How bad could it be?
If it's just a pinched nerve, fine. But when you hear neck, you think worse, and they're not talking about it. So, that's something to monitor this offseason, too, is whether he's going to make it back from that neck injury. And, you can get another running back, but I want to see Allison and, maybe you do a committee with a rookie and Ito. And, but Freeze 27, I know in our stare go thing, people saying let him go. I think I came right to the edge of saying let him go. I might have let him go a couple times and backed off of it because it's 27. But we need something. They need something that running back.
Yes.
Hey,
how much of this do you blame on DQ?
Oh, hold on. Petty Man got a question over here.
Oh, okay.
One question. Well, 2-part question. Levi, I'm trying to figure out the elephant in the room is about Trufant. What is his future, and what do you think about Neal coming back?
Well, Desmond, I don't cut players that could play. So he could play, I ain't cutting him. You never have enough cornerbacks. I might try to rework his deal. Keanu, you hope he can get back. Those are 2 really bad injuries. But you want to double down on that. Maybe draft somebody. Maybe sign another veteran. Maybe get J.J. Wilcox back. The kid Jonathan Ciprian that came over from the Eagles. And got hurt. Get all 3 of them healthy, and hope one of them takes over. So I'm okay at that spot. I think True and Kendall, the rookie from Ohio State, Kendall, I think he's gonna be fine. Oliver, he had a rough year as a starter. But at least at the end, he was in the same picture frame fighting. So
Oliver, we talk about it all the time. His problem is press coverage.
But that's what they want him to do.
Exactly, but that's his problem. He didn't run it much in college, so
Right.
now you get him to the pros, and you got him in that press coverage, and he is undersized, and he's getting his ass handled to him. I mean, he's getting his ass handed to him. So you got to figure out a way to get him off of that. You look at even wily veterans like Richard Sherman that can't do press coverage anymore in this league, and you think Sherman know all the tricks of the trade, and he's what a lot of people would consider to be a big body cornerback. Mm-hmm. Collins not even that, and they try to run him at press coverage. So that's the other piece of that. What was your second part of your question, G?
Well, it's about Neil and
Okay.
True Front. I just wanted to see, I knew True Front was kind of an elephant in the room on them, but like you say, he has some playability, but the money, he's really holding a strap pretty good on that cap space.
J-Bo say, let Oliver go. Shit, he chases plays all.
Yeah, he
he
be
play all
chasing.
day. Yeah. Like Led said, at least he was in the frame towards the end of the year.
That's why you need to pick. They talk about this, Coach Dan and them talk about marrying the pass rush with the coverage. If the rush is there, he ain't in coverage that long.
There you go.
So get the rush up, you don't have to cover as long.
What was your question?
It's like what's the temperature on Dan Quinn? 5 seasons, he's barely over 500. He's 6 games over 500 in 5 seasons. 2 trips to the playoffs. He got to the Super Bowl once, but what we've clearly seen is that one trip was highly due to the offensive system that Shanahan brought in, and when he left, they fell off. And then you lost LaFleur and got worse. I mean, the last 2 seasons were 7-9. Matt Ryan has not been playing bad. He's not like a top-tier elite quarterback, but I definitely place Matt in the top of the second tier. He's like when you get to the level below like the Brady, Breeze, Rodgers folks, which now I guess includes Pat Mahomes and Russell Wilson. But the next level, Matt Ryan's right there. So it's not quarterback play. He's had great numbers the last 3+ seasons. The rest of the team is failing him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no question about it. And I think what it is when they got Coach Dan, he was the hottest coach in the league, coordinator. Bowles was. I thought Dan was going to the Jets, and I thought Quinn would go to the Jets, being a New Jersey guy, but he was like, I'm going where the quarterback is. He came here. Who can blame him? He had to pick, so he came here instead of going home. And but the thing he's got to grow as a coach, and they gave him the opportunity by bringing him back because the seat was hot, the block was hot. He just went away for a while and chilled out, and he's back in the building, putting it back together now. But the thing over the 5-year period is that he's been able to get his teams to play at a high level for a period of time, not 16 games.
Right.
He came hot streaks to finish the year.
Everything flips. I mean, even when he first got the first year, that's 6-2, 7-1, and they ended up 8-8.
Right.
And then then even in the Super Bowl year, they
started out a little shaky.
Then got hot.
They flipped the switch at that Philadelphia game.
Right.
He took over the
So
he's got to be able to figure out, hey, how do I get my? And the other thing is, I don't think they get them ready to play. The last 2 years, they haven't got the team ready to play in the exhibition season.
So that's what. So Gary has always said that. He said they look lackluster during the preseason, and it kind of shows. I'll say, let me ask you this: what's the gauge of the team when you look at it and you say, okay, Q goes from calling the offense to now I'm not calling the offense. I'm going to get to a 2-tier coaching that's going to call defense, going to call the defensive plays. Did the team lose confidence in him to saying, like, dude, you don't know what the hell you're doing? And we always said, and I've said it, he has a problem with multitasking. Like, you got a guy in to watch the clock.
All these coaches.
He's got a guy, if you want to look at all-star coaching staff, we got an all-star coaching staff.
All former head coaches
so what is it about Dan Quinn and his inability to get this team ready to play? All this talent on paper, like Fee say, the roster don't win you championships. You got all this talent. Where is he missing it? Is he? He seems to be a player coach. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they play for him. I think he's missing it in the exhibition season by not playing him. And that might not be his fault. That's
the game now. You don't want to get anybody hurt.
You don't want to get anybody hurt, but you still got to get ready to play. So he won't bring in nobody to scrimmage.
Okay.
Okay, they won't do the
Inter-squad.
inter-squad scrimmage, which Smitty used to do with the Patriots
Correct.
and
They're not doing that?
Jaguars. And
They
they
don't
don't
do
do
any
that. They
anymore.
talk about iron sharpen irons, and they get.
He do military boot camps and go
Yeah,
dance with
But
the
he
SEALs.
got scared because that 1 year he lost a lot of players.
Yeah,
You
and then he
what I'm
get to
saying?
fight, yeah.
injuries, and it hurt us all season long.
Yeah.
He don't see the teams that he's been battling with do that year in and year out.
But
Like
it-
every
but
year,
that's
you
his
see,
coaching
like,
mode,
The
though.
Patriots and Saints play each other every year because they do that.
Well, I think he dodged a bullet
And
because
Carolina does it.
just like Dan Reeves, he got Vic hurt from playing, and he got fired.
But we talking about just even
And then you bring in that one season. We were supposed to have a really nice season year before last, and the injuries screwed us.
Well, we talking about they do inter squad scrimmages during their training camp.
I understand that part,
Yeah,
but
so
just
he
even
doesn't
in
wanna do
the,
that.
the
Just to
preseason.
get the lines ready to hit and tackle, because the linemen coming out of college, they don't block anymore. They coming out of these spreads and touch zone things and read option blocking. And then they gotta box some real grown men on Sundays, and
Right.
that's an elevation.
You got a
that
pocket
gotta
passer
make.
behind you now.
You got a pocket passer. He ain't going
What,
nowhere.
what we got?
You got a pocket passer behind you.
You
Like,
got
he
to
ain't
know
getting
that.
out.
You got to know that. I mean, that's
Can't
what
block
it
the
is.
same way.
Yeah, that's what it is. So, people, you guys are watching the Petty Sports Show. We got AJC's on D. Orlando Ledbetter, Falcon beat writer in here, give you all your Falcon insight and news. Anything you want to know about the Falcon, this man is in the locker room with them. He understands. He sees when they got drop their heads, when they riding high, they rising up, or when they laying low. He knows the ins and outs. So if you got a question about it, give us a call, 678.
871.
9602.
Call
There
in.
it
You know
is.
what I'm saying?
There
D.
it
Ledbetter is in the building. You know what I'm saying? He answering all your questions. Nothing's off limit once again. So, hey, get at him, He's here. All your Falcons questions that you've been wondering and lingering in your head, you got the beat
Orlando.
reporter for the Atlanta Falcons in the building.
Should free
Get
go.
at him.
How we gonna do with getting rid of Pam boy, Vic Beasley? Man, we got a young lady in the company, man. She is a diehard Vic
Groupie.
Beasley, but she's a
groupie.
groupie. And I swear, it don't matter what Vic Beasley. But did you see Vic? Did you see Vic do the hurry? Hey, goddamn, he's always a step slow. I've always said Vic Beasley's always a step slow. But she's a diehard Vic Beasley fan. So if you got questions out there, man, you want to know something about your Falcons,
Well,
this is the time.
He needs
Now-
somebody to tell him what to do. Watch, Vic gonna go to New England and all of a sudden be like, "Why wasn't he doing that?" Like, cause he's being told exactly what to do.
But
He
he's a
has
one-trick pony.
Small. That's all you need him to do.
No, you need offensive line. They
don't need anyone to be extraordinary.
Well,
They just
they-
need everyone to do what they tell them to do.
No, but they figure out in a heartbeat, man. If all you got is a speed rush,
They're gonna sit on it.
and you can't use your hand, bull rush, spin, you don't have any of that. We talked about it. Chuck Smith said, "Hey, man, come help me out. Come work with me." He opted not to work with Quinn. He opted to go. I think they said he was even working out like 20 minutes from the damn training facility on his own. So, again, his demise is his fault.
But there's a system for everybody.
Yeah.
It's just that this one ain't his.
I don't know if there's a system. In this NFL, what do you think, D?
Yeah, because during the trading deadline the last 2 years, they had a chance to move him, and nobody didn't want him. I thought,
So, what system are you referring to? The Adamville Vikings? They might take it. Like,
What number defensive end was he out of the league? When he like 100 or?
he was low. And the thing of it is, coming out of Clemson, he has the pure talent. He has the fucking talent. Like, there's no question about elite level speed, getting off the ball the whole nine. But at this point in the game, you've got to have learned something. And over the years, we've always watched it. If he has a veteran in the game with him, or they bring in a free agent veteran to kind of get him where he needs to be, he kind of excels. I don't know if the Brian Cox situation would have helped him out a little better.
That was my question. Do you think by Brian Cox exiting the stage that he took a hit from that? Because Brian Cox was in his ass and made sure he was doing what he was supposed to do, and he shined. But once Brian Cox left, his game seemingly have left.
He seemed disinterested to me.
That's a lot of people say that. So have you noticed that he doesn't want to play ball anymore? Or?
No, I've heard that too from the league. They're like, hey, they don't know if he loves football. They don't know if he loves it. It means enough to him. And they say it don't mean enough to him. It didn't mean enough to him to go work out with his own coach, who's a defensive line guru. I would have been beating down the door if
Chuck-
some
Chuck-
Pulitzer
they say
Prize
Chuck Smith-
writer wanted to sit down with me every day and teach me the ropes. I'm gonna think I can get better
they
from
say
that.
Chuck
Exactly.
Smith reached out to him.
That's
your job.
That's your job.
Yeah,
But
Chuck's doing a great job out there with his camp, and he the best in the business come to see him, and Vic didn't go. He wasn't the first one that didn't. Croy Bierman didn't either, but Chuck can't get everybody.
I promise you,
Chuck didn't
that
get
is
everybody.
by far the worst pick the Falcons have had in the last 15
the worst,
fucking years.
man.
It is. Listen, man.
He's a
Jamal
fifth
Anderson.
round
Listen,
pick.
man,
Jamal
listen.
Anderson.
Man, they had Croy Bierman out wide, covering wide receivers and tight ends that split out wide. I promise you he's hot fucking garbage. And he was over fucking ready when they had him. And look, he got a 1-year contract and he left and he was out the fucking league. Hey, man, I promise you, Croy Bierman was their Swiss Army knife. They thought he could do everything.
That was my
Coach
Smith
Nolan,
boy.
like-
That was my
They
Smith boy
swear
right
he
there.
could do everything.
Coach Nolan loved him.
Shit, he was horrible.
We got a call on the petty line.
Big O, baby.
Hey,
Big O.
what's good, Big O? You got D Ledbetter. What's
Irvin?
good,
Roll your
man?
windows up, man. Put your convertible top up, man. We trying to hear you.
Speak on it.
Hey man, hey man, I'm on the FP driving around Florida, man. I have to tune in to my boys in the sports.
What you got for D Led, man? You got a question for him?
Yeah, man, I got a question, man. What's going on with the draft, and why we didn't get rid of that nobody up there in that top office, man? What's the talk in the locker room about that, man?
Yeah, I talked to Arthur Blank down at the Super Bowl about, hey, you bought these guys back. You bought Thomas and Dan Quinn back. Are they married together? And he said no. Thomas's valuation is going to be separate from Dan Quinn's. They bought a year. They looked around and decided to stand pat and go with continuity because they felt anything that they did to bring in anybody new would have been a start over.
Right.
They got too much money tied up into this team to start over from scratch. They felt there was enough there to save it, and they needed the people that put it together to figure out how to save it. So they on the clock. He's on the clock.
The window is closing.
It is closing, and Coach Arthur Blank said he's expecting the 6-2 team that he saw in the second half of the season to be carried over into next year. Now, I don't know if he can do that, but he certainly needs to have a big hit. He had a 07 draft was awesome. That got him rolling, and then the 12 draft, was good, and then the 15 draft with Keanu O'Neal and Deion Jones, that helped him out. He needs another big draft where he's got a hit on those. He's got 4 picks in the top 100, and he needs to come up with 3 starters out of that can come in and play.
You got anything else for him, Big O?
He gone, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, great question, man. Appreciate you guys calling in, talking to D-Led. Anybody else? Hey, the Petty Sports line is wide open. Get at us. The number is on the screen, 678-871-9602. Call him up. You got a question for him or any of us. You know what I'm saying? Anything Falcons related, sports related, anything we may have covered up to now or something else you may have. Hey, get on it.
So, how much of the defensive woes do you think could be solved by fixing the offense? Because, the offense doesn't create defense, but your offense can help or hurt your defense. When your offense is sputtering out, y'all are going 3 and out, you're keeping your defense on the field for long periods of time. Even if you have a formidable defense, they're going to look bad because they're being put in bad situations. They're being tired out because they're on the field the entire game. They had the 5th-ranked total offense, but 30th in rushing. That means you're getting nothing from the ground game. Their offense is unbalanced at an astronomical level. If you guys could actually fix the woes between the pass and run blocking, get the running game back together, and actually make some noise on that side, do you think that could effectively fix some of the issues on defense and not having them in bad situations all the time?
Yeah, no question about it. The run game, which they wanted to hang their hat on, they weren't able to do so. The stat I got was 21% of the runs were stuffed from Football Outsiders. That meant that 21% of your runs went for no gain or a loss. So you ain't going nowhere.
No way.
That's too much. You can't live like that. Maybe
That's a
10%.
lot.
What's the
maybe
NFL
5,
average if you know?
7 or 8.
7 or 8%.
Yeah, 7 or 8.
God,
Yeah.
1 out of 5 is
Yeah,
stuff.
so
A little over.
So you really can't do much. And then the other thing they did on defense last year, they overthought. They were like, we got to play 8 mobile quarterbacks, read option cats. And so we got to go to some 3-4 principles with Tack and Vic standing up in the 3-4 looks. And then they could roll in Tyler Davidson and Alan Bailey as the stout players and then roll them out and go to a NASCAR package in third down. But the secondary ended up being confused. You have people running around free.
So that NASCAR package, if you'll explain what that is and what that thought process is for the defense.
Well, what you do there is basically the Giants did it against the Patriots to win the Super Bowl. They put in defensive ends at all the spots.
Okay.
And they don't have to do 4. They can keep Grady. And they were trying to do Tack, Vic, and Claiborne.
Speed rush, athletic guys.
Beat up the guards.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah, beat up the guards and then flush them to the outside.
Gotcha.
It worked in one game, the Saints game, when they came back. When they came back from the break and got the 5 sacks, they beat up the Saints. They had a backup guard in there, and they abused that backup guard. But it worked. So and then they started moving Vic and Tack around. They went back to the 4-3. The conventional 4-3 that he brought with the cover 3 zones and stuff, and started stunting and twisting and moving cats around looking for matchups, which is basic stuff that Raheem brought to him, and they went with it and rode with it. I think having Raheem in place as a DC is going to be really clear with his message and with his game plans to where nobody's going to be confused on Sunday.
All right.
We got a caller?
Yeah, we got a caller on the Petty Sports line for D-Led. Hey, who we got on the line? Hello, you got the pit.
Acid Mac.
Okay, Acid Mac, we got D Ledbetter in the house, man. You got a question for D Led, man?
Hey, man, I just want to ask you. With the upcoming draft, upcoming football season, we got draft picks. We thinking about drafting something. What's the problem with the Falcons as far as trying to put some heat under Matt Ryan? I don't have no problem with Matt Ryan. I love him to death. But, man, is there anything wrong with just putting a little heat on him? Motivation.
Okay.
Is there do we see any progress with that?
Yeah, I get that question a lot. People are saying, hey, well, we need a mobile quarterback. We need to get the guy that's going to take over for him. And I don't think it's because of the contract, it doesn't make sense for me to do that now.
Right.
I think 3 years down the road, I think Matt's replacement's in junior high school right now.
I said high school earlier this year, and they looked at me like I was crazy.
Yeah, but I mean like Taylor Lawrence,
Trevor Lawrence.
I mean, I love him, but it's the same. He still dropped back too. But he showed Ohio State he can get out and run a little bit.
Yeah.
So the game is definitely changing, and we talked to Thomas about that at the Senior Bowl down in Mobile. I'm like, well, what Lamar did and Deshaun, Patrick Mahomes did this year. You can't just sit, when you don't have a pocket, it's gonna get collapsed, and you're gonna have to move. Matt can move a little bit, but I don't think you want to put any heat on him. They got problems, but I don't think he's one of them. I think you can get that line together.
My God.
I guess what I'm saying is even when they had Brett Favre, you had your boy Aaron Rodgers back there. You know what I'm saying? It ain't really putting heat on them, but you just put something back there.
They was a lot closer to Aaron Rodgers. to Brett Favre's contract being up when they had.
Well, see, a lot of people think that Matt Ryan has been too comfortable in not having that pressure behind him to perform.
Man's a professional. He's a generational talent.
Well,
he don't need nobody behind him.
I'm talking to D-Led, sir.
Okay.
But
I've already told y'all.
Yeah, I know.
The man has echoed what I said for the last
you don't know
3-4
what
months.
this man's going to say.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. I hear that a lot from my folks, and my response has been that they got a lot of problems. I don't see Matt being one of the problems. He's coming to play. Missed a game this year for the first time since 08 was the last time he missed a game. He's there early. He's there late. Work ethic's good. When he's on the field, you got a shot in most of the games. So I don't have any problems with the quarterback. Matter of fact, I'll give him an extra week of vacation and get these other cats in there to make sure that they keep him upright.
Sir, you are welcome each and every week. You are welcome each and every week during this season. Because they don't listen to me when I say it.
No, what I've always said, Matt Ryan, he's a Hall of Famer, and he's a good quarterback. I've never denied that. But my take on Matt Ryan is, in the big games when you need him to put it on his back, he's not that guy. Everything has to work perfectly in order for him to succeed.
There aren't very many guys, period, that are that guy.
Well, no. We can look at the Super Bowl. You can blame Matt Ryan. I mean, at that point, he was a 10-year vet, and not knowing, in my opinion, not to audible out of something that clearly was a bad move and throwing a pass play instead of running the ball.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, that offense wasn't built that way, but I agree that it should have been built that way. And the coach on the sideline, I saw Coach Smith take over the mic in New Orleans, and, it's been on NFL film. He's like, run it. He ran 9 straight times down the field against the Saints to win that game. So, but I know Shanahan's offense, and it's not built in for you to, get out of the play. It's
a la Super Bowl 54.
Yeah, so we've seen where that'll get you. But Matt put the thing. Nobody was complaining.
Jimmy just couldn't make the throws.
But listen, even down, up 10, 6 minutes left in the game, run the fucking ball.
Run the ball.
Shitty hand. Shitty hand is not gonna do that.
Hey,
you're not changing my play.
Shitty hand in the fourth quarter.
Say it again, D-Led. D-Led, tell him again. I promise you, man. I be talking to these cats, man. I promise you. They
could not make the throw.
Their feelings be involved in this shit. They can't get us out of their feelings.
Right, exactly.
I say it every week.
Shanahan is 46.
Thank you, sir.
0 in the fourth quarter and 2 Super Bowls.
Hey, man, shitty hand.
Something wrong with what he's doing.
I said that it ain't.
A veteran like Matt Ryan is in that situation that knows football. This is one of the smartest quarterbacks in the NFL league.
Let him finish.
You telling me, all us y'all play video games, y'all know when you got that situation, you look at them damn Waffle House menus on the sideline, what you supposed to do in those situations. Julio won the football game, catching the ball in the field goal. Why are we doing something?
Russell Wilson didn't do it.
Run the ball.
They did run the ball. It was a holding call.
Russell Wilson didn't do it with a Super Bowl.
It was a holding call before the sack.
It was so many things that happened in that series.
It was a run on a 10-yard loss before the sack happened.
You also look at it and you say Russell Wilson didn't do it in the Super Bowl. Matt LaFleur, even though you guys going to say Aaron Rodgers is an elite quarterback, his very first press conference, he said, Aaron will not have the ability to change my call because he's from the shitty hand tree. This is Aaron Rodgers we talking about now. Right. He had just got McCarthy fired. Now here you go, a first-year head coach is saying, in my system.
All I know, Shanahan had a job when he left out.
Yeah, he did.
I'd have changed that damn play. Shanahan was gone anyway.
Annual piss play.
Shanahan was gone anyway. Change the play.
This is true, but again, that system has gotten you there.
I'm talking about his system is at
expound on that, D, because they don't hear me.
At that point, his system is lamed up because he had a job before.
But it doesn't matter. He still got you there.
Right. And you got to give Matt Ryan his big games. He blew out Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. In the
doubled
NFC
them up.
Championship game.
Doubled them up.
He brought him back with like less than a minute against Seattle in 2012.
He has the most fourth quarter comebacks of any active QB in the league right now.
38.
Anybody know his numbers?
So I'm just saying. I'm telling you when you keep Matt Ryan upright, you win football games. When they have losing seasons, the lines have been horrible. So fix the line. They back in the mix. They back in the mix for the whole thing.
I like D-Led.
12 years.
I like D-Led.
It has never been Matt Ryan.
I
like D-Led.
How long we been doing?
Well, obviously the man has just said that they have an issue. They don't have an issue with skilled players, but they have an issue finding that proper talent in the trenches. And we've all talked about that. I've said it. Hey, man,
bro, using the Super Bowl, man, up 28
again.
Your offense went 3 out. They wasn't scoring, then y'all blamed on the defense. Defense scored one.
No. I'm not blaming on the defense. I just said that Matt doesn't play defense, and 3 and out, and it costs you. It does cost you. I mean, you look what Shanahan did this year. Maybe next year he'll go in there. You look at John Lynch, even his clock management, a la Dan Quinn, leaving out of halftime. Playing not to lose versus playing to win. Mm-hmm. So all that stuff, and maybe he'll get it right. Maybe he won't.
I knew what he was doing at halftime. I seen Cooper do that at Ohio State a lot before he got loaded up. You don't want to have a Tremaine Williams situation where the Falcons there is 14-14, and They got the ball trying to get in the field goal range for Matt Bryant. He throws it out, gets picked, and goes to the house 21. They come out, they got the ball. Now it's 28-14. You know, it's the blowout. So that's what Shanahan was trying to avoid. He wanted to stay in that game, and he took a calculated shot to Kittle, who pushed off. And you can't, the tight end can't push off on the D-back.
Because you too damn big, and you moving that fragile body. He displaced him.
If he just comes up a little bit and don't do the full push, maybe he get it.
I think he would have got it on wingspan alone. He still would have got it.
If you just go for the ball, you going to get it. But, you know, that cost Shanahan that one. So I understood that more than not running the ball late. And then in the Falcons game, they did have the game won on the 22-yard line. They ran the play. A 1-yard loss. Then they got the sack.
Right.
Then they got the penalty.
Yes.
And then they're out of field goal range.
Poor clock management. It was a whole lot of stuff
Matt
that went
Ryan
wrong.
was snapping the ball with 20 seconds.
So let me ask you this.
14
We can start
seconds
reliving in the past on that because it hurts me a little bit. I know it makes him feel good. Let me ask you this.
He going to cut me off.
Yeah, we're going here.
That's what he do.
Matt Ryan snapping the ball with 15, 16 seconds on the play clock. That is not nobody managing the clock. That ain't got nothing to do with Shanahan. That's a quarterback. You got a big-ass clock up on the damn field goal.
Man.
You don't snap the ball if you up. You don't give Brady. You don't let Brady back on the field. Everybody know that.
Again.
283
Ask
diamonds.
Eli how you beat
Listen,
him.
let me ask you this question.
Yes.
Did we miss on not hiring Matt LaFleur?
No, not at the time. He wasn't ready. And I know Matt.
As just an offensive coordinator, though?
He was the quarterback coach, and then you was going to elevate him to he had never called plays.
But I think he had been under Shanahan. So,
He had
being
with
under Shanahan tree for a
couple-
while.
Yeah, at Washington and Cleveland. You would have been making a leap. So, but they tried to get Chip Kelly. They tried to get Chip Kelly.
How the hell was
But listen,
nobody's available.
Chip Kelly
Yeah.
and the
Sark.
and fucking Sarkeesian. It's
Right, and Chip
Sarkeesian.
Kelly's
Hey man, I mean, really, like, I mean,
But it's the same thing. You giving the keys to a damn Corvette to somebody that's used to driving a damn Toyota.
but you get
They're not
somebody,
ready, like he
but
said.
you get somebody which it would have been his third year with Matt Ryan. The verbiage doesn't change, any of that stuff didn't change, and he understands what it is. Now maybe he would have struggled a little bit with the play calling, but you look at the exact same thing that New York is doing this year with the new head coach they got up there, and they brought in Jason Garrett to kind of, hey, I got a guy with head coach experience, which you got a bunch of them motherfuckers on our sideline that has OC experience that can help you out in this situation. So I think it was just to me, it was a no-brainer to keep Matt LaFleur and to keep that system intact because you were so close to winning the big game. Why rock the boat and give him his fourth offensive coordinator during that time?
No question. And if Matt thought he was the offensive coordinator, he would have went in there and told him.
They didn't even ask Matt
I
Ryan.
don't even know. I'm pretty sure if Matt said, "Hey, we could roll with LaFleur,"
But
it would have happened.
they asked that question. You know, Dan Quinn said Matt wasn't even consulted about this decision. Like,
no, that's what they say. But I'm just saying,
Okay.
you know, you ain't got to be consulted officially.
you go in there and say, I'm gonna use my clout.
This cat can work.
Yeah, okay,
You know,
I got you.
But he ended up going to get his get anointed by Sean McVay. Got about 9 people jobs, and then he goes to Tennessee, and Green Bay takes a flyer on him. Looked like a pretty good flyer.
Yes.
So you would have been taking that flyer 2 years earlier.
I think so. I think so. And you know, one of the knocks on our, and you can tell us because we say it all the time. We all say it. Arthur Blank he got good corporate guys. He got good corporate citizens in that locker room.
Oh yeah,
no doubt. Like there's no honey badger. There's no ass kicker on that sideline. There's nobody raising hell. You know, so is that just the culture that he's trying to create? Because as a fan looking at it like, man, ain't nobody really fired up about this shit. Like, you ain't got no ass kicker.
He got a bromance, but he never fires anybody. Nobody's ever scared of losing their job. He's a bromance. Everybody gets
Big
promoted.
Beasley just got cut.
Yeah, Mike Smith got cut.
But shit, hey, look at you can't really say that because they'll fuck around and bring Mike Smith back next year. They got Dimitrov back for a second time. Hey,
Beasley getting out of here saying
Dirk Cutter.
job.
Dirk Cutter. They recycle these motherfuckers now. They recycle them. So I mean,
K still there.
is it just your idea that he that's kind of environment he wants to have?
Yeah, it came out of the Michael Vick situation. They came with the Falcons filter. They want no character issues, no domestic violence. Got rid of
your boy with the dog.
Simbo.
Yeah.
Took a gamble. It didn't work
Can't own no
out.
pit bulls.
So, they took Jalen Collins. Little weed problem at LSU. And then he got into the performance enhancing stuff up here.
Got rid of him.
So they're like, hey, if you got character issues, that doesn't bode well for you long term with us.
Mm-hmm.
But the word that I would use some of the colorful language about they just say it's game wreckers. You need some people that people are scared of.
Mm-hmm.
That they gotta come into the game saying we gotta block this guy, and they don't have enough of those. They got one. They got one guy you gotta block. Grady Jarrett. I don't know why they let Dontari Poe go, because I know Deion loved Dontari Poe. That's when he went to the Pro Bowl, because he could. If you keep them guards off of Deion, he gonna get everything.
But the following year he went to Carolina and didn't do jack squat.
Yeah, but he don't have to do jack squat. All he gotta do is take up 2 blockers.
Okay.
You don't need him to do much.
Gotcha.
If they running this hole, get that hole. Green Bay. This is going way back.
Well, one can say he didn't do much of that either, because Luke Kuechly retired 2 years after the motherfucker got there from concussion. So I don't know if he was keeping motherfuckers off the middle linebacker.
Well, maybe not him, but
Kuechly crazy.
A big guy like
He just run
Gilbert
in
Brown.
pow.
Mm-hmm.
Gilbert Brown was that guy for Reggie White and Sean Jones.
okay.
And then they had Santana Destin to go with that. You need, if you could rush with 4 dudes, then that you got 8 to cover. So
Gotcha.
and the Falcons don't have 4 up there. They got 1.
Got a dog.
And Claiborne can go, but he's he's got issues. He got physical limitations too. But when you getting ready to play the Falcons and you put it up on the board and you're like, who we got to block? They're gonna say Grady Jarrett, and they need to upgrade that. They need to upgrade that where, if there's 2 on Grady, then everybody else got a 1-on-1, and Tack and Vic was supposed to be cut loose.
And you got to be able to beat your man.
And you got to be able to beat your man. And so they haven't done a good job of getting those people up there. Although I think Tyler Davidson played pretty good. Jack Crawford was good, solid. Not, they had Derek Shelby, couldn't stay healthy. I like the kid Kaminsky from West Virginia.
Okay.
As a project, but he mean.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to him. He wants to. He's like, yeah, man. I thought the biggest thing was gonna be, all these kids could throw me around. They, he got out there and he's got the right attitude. He might can be a piece that they can develop into something. So he's an inside-outside guy. So they may have something there. Deidre Sinai, I don't think they have anything there because he didn't do anything this year. He didn't even play.
I was about to say he didn't play, and he was they picked him up in what round?
He was a
third round. Another third round pick.
And I thought he was gonna not get pushed around because he bench pressed like 35 times. He was like real strong, but doesn't have the instincts or something. So
okay.
That might be a miss, but I'm bringing him back to camp to see what he can do.
Okay.
So you got to find some people up front that's gonna raise some hell, get to the quarterback, knock some people around, shut down the run, and and keep Deion free because anything get out, he's got it.
He's got it.
Well, let me ask you this, Ledbetter. Do you think, speaking from a fandom perspective here in Atlanta, I don't know if that was your article I read maybe a month or so ago about how the fans squelched on $32 million worth of the PSLs. People in this city are fed up with, in my opinion, as I call it, mediocrity. I've been a Falcons fan for 40-plus years, and the Falcons arrived here in this city in 1966. So it's like we got like 54 years of nothing, mediocrity, and so forth. So do you think ultimately the fans have a reason to feel the way we feel about our team? A lot of people feel like if you call bullshit, you wrong. No, you call what you see. You call it when they doing what they're supposed to do and they rising up. Hey, good job. You know what I'm saying? Way to go. And when they're not, you call it like you see it, and people tend to get, you know what I'm saying, a little chapped ass about that. Like, hey man, you're not a real fan because you talking. No, I'm talking about what I see, and the fact that people feel that way. How do you feel about that? Your thoughts on that about the fandom here in Atlanta?
Oh yeah, no question about it. And I speak on that. That article was by Tim Tucker from the AJC, our business writer. He covers the business side of it for us and does a great job with that. Understand that the fans. Part of it is being fanatical. You supposed to say it's bullshit when you think it's bullshit. Right. When it's good, it's good. Right. But to not show up, that's another thing. Cleveland is an example of that. Their team went to Baltimore. They've been coming. They come 70,000, 80 strong no matter what. They know their team ain't that good. They got all hyped last year because they got Baker and OBJ and all that. But them fans are there. They there. But the realistic thing for them was just get to 8-8, man. They was 4-something the year before that. Get to 8-8, then go. But the Falcons, since Arthur Blank has taken over the team and they are the 7th winningest team in the league. So this is really the glory times for the Falcon fans. You're not 2-12, 4-12, and 2-14. They in the mix, even though they got out early last year, 1-7, looking like you getting ready for the draft at that point. But this period right now, when you got a quarterback, you can't mismanage the fact that. You can't waste his future. You can't waste his talent, which, you got him and Julio. You got, some of the key pieces. But you don't want to mismanage his future and not be a contender when you have the main part. And they haven't done that. And so the fans could certainly be upset about that. But I don't understand them not coming to the games. Either it's kind of, Little John, who you with? I was watching the Hip Hop Evolution. Who you with? So if you with him, you with him. And if it ain't good, you can say it ain't good. But if you with your team, stay with your team. It's like
no. Keep your goddamn glad down. Raise your glad, D. Ledbetter. Raise your glad. Give me some. Because I say the same shit. I say, listen, if you've been a Falcon fan all these years, you should be able to appreciate the time that we're living right now. You got a generational quarterback, and they doing their damn thing. We've lived through the damn the fucking the owners before blank the Rankin Smith and Rankin Smith Jr. and all that. We lived through that.
That's fine.
We understand what it is. So when I say the exact same thing, that we're living in a time where you got a generational quarterback. I didn't know we were the 7th winning the team since Blank took over. Out of 32 teams. Again, another stat that people don't want to look at.
Same result.
What I'm saying to you is, and I said it's a lot. So if you're the 7th winning team since 2001, in the 2000, you're the 7th winningest team out of 32 teams. Bro, you in the top quarter of the goddamn teams in the NFL.
I give you that, again,
temper your chicken littleness.
No,
that's all I'm saying to you.
Whatever you want to call it, what I'm saying
the ultimate goal is to win the Super Bowl. We get that.
Saying as a fan. Now you can compare Cleveland to whatever the case you may be, or whatever.
It don't matter what you say. I said that about Cleveland. I use the Cleveland analogy that they sell out every year, every game.
Can I finish, sir? What I'm simply saying is, people want to go to the games, even if your team. Here in Atlanta, we know what our fan base here in Atlanta. You want a good product on the field to go to support. You want to go be entertained. And here in Atlanta, we just don't feel like we have that.
0-16, 1-15.
Who wants to go spend all that money to go see a team that's not performing they should?
1-15, 0-16, selling out every year. I'm not selling out every game.
No, what I'm saying is,
but you know what though?
In the cold,
y'all can compare us to Cleveland all you want, but we are two teams that had got no Super Bowls.
But what I'm saying to you,
the ultimate goal is winning the big one.
It truly is, G. But the thing about it is, the fans gotta be at a point to where you say, "Hey, I ride with these cats regardless."
People ride with the team, but that don't mean you're not a fan, a serious fan. If I don't want to go spend my money, call it what you want.
Been nowhere near the atrocity of the Cleveland Browns.
There's a lot of teams.
And the Falcons have had support over the year. The Falcon fan base has been there.
It's watered down. It's watered down.
I can probably count on one hand, how many games you been to this year? And for a whole lot of other fans out there. But that don't mean you're not a serious Falcons fan because you don't go to the game. You just feel a certain way about going because, hey, you know what to expect when you get there.
No, I love
It's
Falcons.
different if you
I'm
actually
born and
love
raised.
signed
You
up
love-
to
I
pay
love
for
the
a
Falcons.
seat. You
Yeah.
don't go.
I'm not a fanatic. I'm a fan, and I like my team.
But
And
I see.
I don't
but
have
I
any
see
other
it,
team.
But I see it for what.
I don't have any other team.
Boy, you
If I
just-
sign up for season tickets and I don't go, that's different.
Well, but that's people do that
If I
because
say
hey,
it costs a lot to go and I don't
$32
go
million.
because I don't have tickets, and that's one thing. If I
$32
actually
million
signed up
worth of people
for
that's,
season tickets and then I don't go and then I don't even pay for them, that's a
Wellstone
whole
tickets.
different thing.
Well, part of that was the fact that, at the end of the day, you came out the 2016 season, you got the new stadium, and everybody was high on the horse about it. You got people out there with PSLs that are $9,000 seats that they're financing. Because everybody had that euphoric feeling about, hey man, this is how I want to be there when it happens. And when it does not happen, all of a sudden we down and out. Oh my God, woe is me, da 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 da. That's just the nature of the business. The new stadium is the nature of the business. But you cannot sit here and say that we don't have a product since 2007 winning this team franchise in the league. That tells you right there, man, they're moving in the right direction. They're trending. This shit is not easy. Winning the Super Bowl is not easy.
Hey man,
by
like
no
I
stretch
say,
of the
as
imagination.
A fan, all you look at as a fan is our team always comes up for some reason or another.
It's a lot of
For some reason or
teams that
another.
do
And
that.
when you buy PSLs, that's an investment. And when you don't feel like your investment is paying off, you look for other alternatives.
But investments is
That
what
don't
they
mean-
are.
That doesn't mean
They're not guaranteed.
That doesn't mean I don't like my team, but I say, hey, maybe I won't spend this kind of money on this team until they show me otherwise. Especially with your Dimitrovs, your Dan Quinns, and decisions they make up there in the front office, and then you see the same shit show year in and year out. You just mentioned it earlier. They have no idea what they're doing, picking talent outside of your sexy positions.
Insanity.
You know what I mean? So
I'll
it
say
is what it
this.
is.
Insanity.
I'll wrap that up to say this. For all the Falcon fans, the Braves fans, the Hawks fans that feel like your teams have let you down, come see the Five Stripes, baby. Atlanta United, they got a banner
I like
in the
that.
bins. Come to the games. It's hype. Full 90 minutes. Stand up, chant, drink, cheer. Everything you're looking for. The reason why you're not paying for everything else. Come get into it, man. MLS is real. Atlanta United has been recognized by the English Premier League writers as the closest experience that you can get in America to European soccer. And that's saying something because they shit on that league. They give us no props, but they actually shouted Atlanta United out about just how real the fan base is out here for the soccer team. So, I mean, come rock with it. If you don't want to rock with none of the rest of it, come to the soccer games, baby.
Before they
I'ma be
started
there.
winning, they were selling out and standing up. See, it's not about when the times are good. Before anybody knew what they were going to be, the times good. Before you rebut that, Mike. Let me close out. Pulse 880 Internet Radio. We're going to close out here. You're going to get tuned into your regularly broadcast show on Pulse 880 Internet Radio station. We're signing out here. Petty Sports, your man DB, Famous Fees, AJCD Ledbetter, Mike Bell, and the petty man himself, Gary King. We appreciate you guys on Pulse 880. If you're on our other platforms, Twitter, Periscope, and Facebook, we're going to continue for a little while we wrap this discussion up. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. Even with that being said, like I said, I'll compare it to the Hawks. We know they're not a good team right now, but they're exciting. You feel pretty good going to see them play because they're exciting. They're giving you something to cheer about. We got a real, true superstar in Trey and the other guys that he's bringing
Julio.
along with the John Collins and so forth. Hey, it's exciting.
But you got Julio.
Okay.
You got Matt Ryan.
Hey,
you got
man,
Ridley.
Grady Jarrett.
You got Grady Jarrett. It's still exciting.
6-2 to finish the season wasn't exciting.
Hey, man, I'm talking about a hell of a run at the end of the last two seasons. Now, do we have to make some tweaks? Yes. We do. I'm in total agreement with you on that. But to say that this team is not an exciting team, if you look at the roster, like you said, the roster didn't win it. But shit, we're watching you. When you say to yourself, I can literally go out to my local fan team and I can watch two Hall of Fame careers taking place right in front of your eyes.
I'm looking at
Generational
Travis
talent.
Slink. I'm looking at Travis Slink and the moves he's making up there in the front office to bring guys in here that are exciting, that can get the job done, that makes the future look bright. Even here with the Braves and what's my man name? The GM over there.
You talking about
Anthopoulos.
Anthopoulos, yes, Anthony Anthopoulos. They're making monster moves. He's built up that bullpen, probably the best in the NL moving forward this year. They're making moves, and they make you feel comfortable that what they're doing, your team is going to be exciting and worth going to see. And you got the guys here in the Falcons, and I like the Falcons. That's my squad, but they just don't excite me enough. I'd rather go and tailgate down there than go inside the game.
What's your take on that, D?
Ooh, I know a lot of people that I know back in the day, the tailgates were hot. Especially when you drive down North Side and the grills are going and everybody's fired up. So it's one of the best tailgates out there. So I can see that. But they're in. They've been in the hunt. They've been talked about. They've been the number one top 10 team. Have fallen off here in the last couple years. We gotta see what they gotta do. They gotta put it back together. I mean, they're gonna be in a pretty good situation in the NFC South. Drew Brees, you don't know what's happening there. Tampa Bay is gonna probably be Phillip Rivers. Okay, then Carolina, they're moving in another direction. So the path is open. So they gotta put it back together. You certainly have your right to be a little bit depressed, a little down. Based on the results of the last 2 7-9s, one was an injury-ridden year, and last year they just didn't get the job done defensively. Didn't put it back together late. Now, can they carry it over? They think they can. So we got to see some moves, though. We got to see the line get better. We got to see the pass rush get better. Now that's what this offseason's about. Maybe they could win the offseason and get some of the fans excited again with some of their moves. And it's up to them. I mean, if they trade up in the draft to get Chase Young, hey, all of a sudden, that's hot. They did it to get Julio. Do it again. I don't mind giving up some picks because, if you can get that guy that's going to come in and flip it around.
They moved up to get Vic.
Yeah, do something dynamic. You waiting for something dynamic to happen is what I hear. And I think something that would energize the fan base and get everybody back on board.
So, man, looking at y'all's schedule moving forward, I done just pulled this thing up. You got the NFC North and the AFC West. And outside of those two games, you got Seattle and Dallas.
Better be ready to ball.
The schedule is real.
Kansas
Be ready
City.
to ball.
There are only 2 bad teams on the schedule, being Detroit, who actually is not nearly as bad as their record.
Right.
They started out hot this year. Yeah.
They got robbed out of quite a few games.
Yeah, they always get a bad call.
Yeah.
But yeah, you better be ready to ball this year. Ain't no joke.
Yeah,
right from the rip.
Kansas City,
They be
Green
waiting.
Bay, Seattle,
Yep.
Dallas. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
it's
tough.
gonna
It's
be
gonna be a
on and
tough
popping.
road to hold this year, man.
No doubt about it.
So how confident are you in the staff and what we have out there as far as management that we can turn it around, D?
I'm from the show me state. You got to show me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hey, I need to see some moves
Yes.
here. And I'm not talking about getting Brandon Fusco. I'm not talking about Luke Stocker. I like him. He's a good veteran guy. I mean, I want to see something dynamic. I know you don't have any money, but hey, make it happen.
Like I just said, you want to see the exciting picks. You want to, give us something that, worth our time going down there to support like that. Not to say nobody wants to waste their money. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, right now as it stood for the past 2 years, I'd rather go tailgate than set foot in that dome. And it's a brand new, nice, exciting A1 facility. I'd rather stay outside.
You can come
Watch the game on the
see
TV.
United game for about $40.
And that's fine. And I dig the United. I'm trying to get my weight up with the soccer game. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're going to Guadalajara next week or something like that.
On the 15th.
Yeah, that's like the last preseason game.
No, that's not
match.
preseason. That's the CONCACAF.
CONCACAF.
Okay.
So
That's Champions League.
okay, all
And
right.
the second leg is on the 25th.
Okay,
So
all right.
with that being said, we talked about it in G. We've always talked about these draft picks and what have you, and they talked about last year, not bringing in a whole lot of free agent talent. My argument was, when you look at the 53-man roster, there weren't a whole lot of available spots because we knew what we had and we figured what we had based on our roster. Now, we talked about some of the free agent moves. We got rid of Vic Beasley. You don't know what you're going to do with Austin Hooper, things of that nature. Freeman is still in the air, and so on and so forth. realistically, how many of that 53 that we currently carried last year did you think won't be here next year?
It's usually a 33%, somewhere between 27 and 33% flip.
Okay.
And you're going to have to flip it right.
So that's a huge jump this
yeah,
year because we didn't do that last year.
No, they didn't do it last year. They were on the low side of that because they thought they were loaded. They thought all them cats coming back healthy was going to give them a bump.
Correct.
And so they didn't go out and do that. But they brought in some safeties along quietly with Will Cox and Cyprian, guys who played in the league who can go hit people.
Right.
So, if they can get them healthy, linebackers is you kind of set there because Fourier is a ball
Campbell,
player. You got to sign
Debo.
Campbell and you got Debo. So I'm cool with them three.
Okay.
And you get a young kid to back them up. You're okay there. It's the lines. It's the defensive line and the offensive line got to come out and hit some people in the mouth.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Okay.
get to that quarterback, get him on the ground.
Keep him off our quarterback.
Yeah, keep our quarterback need to be clean.
Well, they're going to have to because y'all got some real teams on the schedule this year.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them are teams with real defenses. Some of them, they just run a score up. So they're like, hey, can you keep up?
I'm looking forward to this season coming up, this upcoming season. See what we'll say at the end of next season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Will Quinn play guys in preseason? Will he still sit people? You know what I'm saying? Because what we've learned in the past 2 seasons, preseason matters.
The teams that win actually play their players.
But that's my point.
Right.
So we're going to see
if you're going to get hurt, you're going to get hurt, and you can't avoid it.
We're going to see if the culture changes. Will they go in with the same mentality, or will they go in with a different mindset saying, hey, it didn't work?
So I think, and we talked about it with the Mike Vick situation, I think that comes down from up top with Arthur Blank. Like, hey, don't fuck up none of my guys doing preseason.
We don't need to see Matt Ryan, but we need to see Jake Matthews, Alex Mack, and whoever that 5 gonna be. I need to
Up
see
front.
them for 2 series.
Do you think Alex Mack will be back?
Yeah. Alex said he wants to come back.
He'll retire as a Falcon.
I think he's got 2 years left, and if he want to keep going, and you ain't got nobody better,
I think
let him keep going.
So
He'll retire
you're
as a
saying
Falcon.
he'll take the discount?
No,
Mac
he
does-
don't take a discount, but at 37, it's
Yeah,
not
he
as
gonna
much as
re-up, yeah.
35. So you got him for 2. You got him for 2. You
Yeah, I
got him
think
for
he'll
2 more
retire. I
years.
think he'll retire as a Falcon. I mean, it's just what it is. It's a good situation.
Now you maybe draft a guard that could go to center later. Probably this year.
Well, that's what didn't McGarry play a little bit of center in he was or was it Lindstrom that was the dual guy that could do both?
No, it was Wes Schweitzer
Wes
that was
Schweitzer,
doing
okay.
both.
Okay.
And he's a backup. He ended up starting a lot last year. He's a free agent too, so he might go to Tennessee. That's where his coach was. That Keith Carter, who was here, that got him at San Jose State, and was bumping for the Falcons to pick him. So
Okay.
he might be gone, but you got to find another backup. I don't know. You mentioned Gano. I'd like to see more of that,
But has he panned out? I mean, it's one of those things where he's been a project kid, and
yeah, they Division III project kid. They talk about their Plan D program developing talent. Let's see if you developed them. They weren't able to do Sean Harlow. He was a 4th-round pick. As a guard, you were hoping he could play. But, he's been hanging on since he got drafted. So, I mean, you drafting these guys, you saying you're developing them, so let's see if they can play. And you can see that in the exhibition season.
okay, good deal. Whew. Boy, if you ain't got your Falcon feel today, man, and you don't know where your birds stand at the day after the day, I don't know what the hell wrong with you.
That's right.
This thing here was serious today, man. An in-depth discussion on your Atlanta Falcons with AJC's own D. Orlando Ledbetter. Catch him on the blogs every Wednesday.
Wednesday at 9. Cover 9 at 9 blog.
If you ain't following, you better go follow him.
That's
At
right.
D. Orlando AJC. Thank you.
He's got fees.
Y'all know it's real. Y'all got fees in here talking about the damn Falcons because, I don't rock with them like that. But, I do football, though. So, I mean, I do what I do. But y'all know how to find me. It's your boy, Famous Fees. They also call me Flagrant Fees. I'm on every Monday right here with Petty Sports. Tomorrow night, Clutch Sports Talk Radio. Wednesday and Thursday, the Flagrant Fees Hour. Follow me. Check me out. Facebook, Instagram. You can check me out on my YouTube page. Fees is everywhere. I told you it's a movement, baby.
Mike Bizzell.
Yeah. We'd like to thank you guys for joining the show tonight. It's been quite exciting. You know, one of the ATL legends from way back covering the Falcons was in the house tonight with the crew at the table, and we thoroughly enjoyed him coming, and we thank you for that, good sir. You know what I mean?
Appreciate it.
Hey, smoking good sticks, drinking good, you know what I'm saying, and talking about something that he really loves, football and the Atlanta way. So, hey, Petty Sports was brought to you tonight by Kings Broadcasting. And we'll see you next week at 8 o'clock, same time. Tune in Friday for 808 on the Beats. We'll be hosted by D Bizzle and Q Smooth. If you're into hip hop and you like that southern flavor, that southern twang that they bring, hey, that's where they highlight local talent that you may not hear on your radio every day or quite often, to bring them forward to the masses to share their talents. You know what I'm saying? So check those guys out. They do a wonderful job. Tune in Sundays at 8 for the No Name Podcast. We go in on everything, you know what I'm saying? Social media, sports, you know what I'm saying? Then we got the No Name After Dark show where we go, it's grown folk, relationships, all kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? We go in. So, hey, thank you for joining. Without no you, there is no us. If you like to buy airtime, you want to come in here and spend some money with Kings Broadcasting, and you want to do your own podcast, your own broadcasting, get at us. Pettyman72, Gary King, or Michael Bell in the DM, and we can talk some numbers and make you famous and put your content out here for the masses to see. So we're doing a lot here for 2020. Like I mentioned earlier with the other shows, we got Cigar Life, Cigars, and Libations coming soon. We got the Petty Man Podcast. Watch for the hook. It comes on at the drop of a dime, so stay tuned and set your alerts. Go join the Kings Broadcasting page. Like it, share it. Join the 8 on the 8 Beats page. Go join the No Name The Show podcast page. Join us and go throughout 2020 with us and share the love. You know what I'm talking about? And God willing, the creek don't rise. We'll see you soon. ATL, hope. Petty Man, want to thank you once again for, you know what I'm saying, putting forth a good show on that side of the table, making us look good, sound good, and all that good stuff, man. You know what I'm talking about? And thank you for the calls that came in and some of the questions here in the chat room. Great job. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, what you got for us, Banks?
Hey, man, the man behind the curtain over there, the wizard, makes it all possible, man. King's Broadcasting Studio, my man Gary King does it for you guys. So we greatly appreciate everybody coming in, man, and kicking it with us and riding with us today. You want to know how we do it? It's by bringing you guys great content. I don't have nobody in the city, in the state, probably in the Southeast United States, with more stats than my man Famous Fees. I promise you. When the time comes to put your money with it, ride with your man. Got us in Orlando Ledbetter, AJC. Give you all your Falcon fix. We got to get you in before the season starts. Training camp, get in. Give us an insight of what you see, and maybe let guys know what we can expect from our birds in the 2020 season.
Yeah, and how they did in the draft, and with the free agent signing and so forth, man. We'd love to hear your opinion, and you're always welcome here with us, man.
Got a family here, brother.
Yes, sir.
Well, great. I certainly appreciate you all having me. Thanks for having me on the show, and be more than happy to come back and sit with you fellas and chop it up here again before the season starts.
That's what's good,
and I promise y'all, me and Mike Bell not going to fight it. We ain't going to get into no tussle before the season starts over my bird, although he is a Matt Ryan hater. But listen,
not a hater.
It's your man DB, man. Petty Sports did it to you once again. If you want to know everything that we're doing in the King Broadcasting Studio, follow, but set your alert to be notified every time we go live. Like I said, watch for the hook. Might hit your ass at any point in time. You want to know what's in the know? Make sure you follow that King's Broadcasting page, hit the follow, and make sure your alerts are set up. When we go live, you get notified about it. It's your man DB, broadcasting live from Atlanta, GA, man. We appreciate you guys hanging in here with us, man. We'll see y'all next week. We'll talk a little bit about the NBA All-Star Game, how that format went. Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? You can do without it, whatever. The Kobe tribute, because it's going to be one. The biggest Kobe fan right here sitting to my left, man. We're going to go all the way in next Monday, man. So,
Mamba for life.
From the Petty King studio and the Petty King's Petty Sports show and the King's Broadcasting Studio, it's your man DB. We signing out. We love y'all, man. ATL for life. Rise the fuck up.
And I'm picking the West to win. Giannis did a terrible job with his picks. Hey, Petty man, you got something to say to go out, man? You want to give to the people out there, man?
Thank you for coming out. God
I
bless.
said enough, man. I appreciate everybody, and definitely Orlando Ledbetter, man. We appreciate you here, man. You're always welcome here, man. I got a board I'm gonna put up that's gonna have all of our guests that come through. You're gonna sign it, and so that means you have to come back.
All right, no problem.
That's me asking you out to come back to our studio again. You're welcome, man. I'm honored to have you in here. I've always respected everything you wrote for any team that we have in Atlanta. You definitely let the fans live through you. So thank you so much for all you've done for the city of Atlanta. So you're always welcome here in the Kings Broadcasting Studio. Just let us know if there's anything that we can do for you.
We'll do it. I certainly appreciate the love.
Oh, yeah, man. Before we get about this camp, right quick, man, we got Alpha Gamma to the Alpha chapter, baby, all day.
Hey, get to it. Go on, get it one time. Yes, yes.
That right.
And we were riding out too, Mike. What we got on it?
You don't even know, do you?
You don't even know. I don't know, you know.
Yeah, Rocco, Atlanta's own, baby. That's what we do.
You want the instrumental. My brother got smart over there on them boys. What? We will not get flagged for this one right here. My boy, I got, what? Hey, engineer extraordinaire Mike Bell done got smart on us, man. Hey, we don't have the lawyers to fight this shit, so we work around the system. Run it. We out.
Yeah.